on any of the platforms that we mentioned there as well. Later on today, though, because it is a Friday, it's from Russ Mondry over at Centric. For years, we've talked about this, and every once in a while we'll get a text, and people think, is he a real person? Yes, Russ Mondry is real. He's going to join us in studio. We'll have some fun.
I think he's a big Jayhawk fan like you.
He is a big whiskey fan as well.
Like me.
And
so we got some commonalities.
We'll discuss the playoffs this weekend with the AFC and NFC championship weekend going on. We'll find out a little bit more about the Tech Summit. You and I are going to be out at Centric next Wednesday.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hang out as well and you've been hearing us talk about Centric and you're curious what Centric is all about and what the facility looks like and all that, we'll be at Centric next Wednesday from 4 to 7, along with, I think, Jenny Matthews and maybe Slim Fest, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So we'll talk all about that with Russ Mondry during Fan Club Friday, brought to you by Jay Rieger and Co. But let's get into it here a little bit before we get to the postseason action this weekend. Wide receiver, we've discussed Xavier Worthy and what we're expecting in year 3 and all of that. And then you've got, Tyreek Hill sending out tweets, Cody, maybe alluding to the fact that it sure seems like he would love to come back.
I think it's fairly obvious at this
Kansas
point.
City.
Can we say that with confidence?
That
Tyreek would like to be back with the Chiefs.
Yes, and he will.
I'm not saying it's reciprocated yet.
He's under contract still with the Dolphins, but they're going to cut him. Brand new regime. He's coming off not just a random knee injury. Pretty much
a devastating.
Yeah, and a player that relies so much on speed. Who knows who he is as a player moving forward, not to mention just everything else that comes with having Tyreek on your team. I don't know if the Chiefs will be interested. I think I'm a little surprised, frankly. The fan base seems to be as pro bring him back. I feel like we're in a group right now, or in a time frame right now, I should say. There's a group of people that are all about like, all right, bring back EB, bring back Tyreek Hill, and everything's going to be great. And I just think that's a really dangerous way to operate. Typically, that things the way they were 3 or 4 years ago, you can just replicate that 4 years later. So we'll see. Then there's Brandon Ayuk. Is he intriguing you? Because he's going to be the most expensive option.
Is he?
Yeah, he's not getting cut.
Well,
he's getting traded.
Yeah, but they're going to have to give him away for peanuts.
What's
the argument?
Well, you may not have to give up a big draft pick, Cody, but I think it's going to cost you financially. It's not going to cost you a second-round pick. I'm talking about...
it's going to cost you like a seventh-round pick.
Correct. You know why, though? Because, man, the contract's a huge problem. You'd have to get him to agree. I don't think the Chiefs are in a position to take that. Here's what he signed, the 4-year, $120 million extension.
Now, it'll be less for the acquiring team.
Sure. Yeah. This year, the cap hit is 15.3, and I don't know what the acquiring team for sure would take on, but it's some chunk of this, which is in 2027, Cody, a $41 million cap hit. In 2028, when he's 30, a $43 million cap hit. Now, there's an out at the end of this year, but instead of $41 million, it's still a $21 million dead cap hit. I don't know if that contract is as tradable if you're the Chiefs as fans want it to be.
They might still have to be. And now, in fairness, it's completely cuttable after the year. A little bit. Not, as you mentioned, the $21 million. The acquiring teams, I think you could probably, historically, take about 40% off of all of those numbers. But that means, obviously, in 7 and 8, if you like Ayuk, you are paying him market rate. Market rate. Look, if this is the offseason where you would love a troubled wide receiver, congratulations. It is the offseason for you. You can trade for A.J. Brown, trade for Ayuk, trade for Tyreek Hill, and there are free agent wide receivers available to you as well, Alec Pierce and others. I don't want it to be Tyreek Hill. I'm good. I'm good on that one. I'm good. But I do kind of think the Chiefs should be looking in the, what they did for Stafford and adding a Devontae Adams type. I think they need a sure thing. Somewhere next to Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and Tyquan Thornton if he's back or whatever. So if your guy's Alec Pierce, because you're like, well, he's the younger MVS role, then fine. If you think you want Rashid Shaheed, or you pray, I don't think George Pickens is going to be available. There's another troubled wide receiver in the theme of it. I think they're going to pay him or tag him too. It's available to you. What I am I don't blame Tyreek for wanting to come back here.
Well, sure. Why
he was making a ton of money and got offered a ton of money to be here, and his glory days were in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, and now he's in a full rebuild there in Miami. And I imagine for a guy who had talked about retiring somewhat young, and maybe his timeline has shortened even further, Gold, now that he's had a devastating leg injury, I bet he wants to be back. What stands out to me is
the Chiefs want him back.
Well, here's the thing. We can talk about that in a second. I think the answer should be no. But can we also admit something we talked about in this show yesterday? Chiefs love bringing back players. It is their calling card. They bring back coaches. They bring back players. if I would venture a guess that of the last 100 free agent signings the Chiefs have done, 80 had previously played for the team. If there have been 100 free agents that Andy Reid has signed, 80 of them one time played for the Kansas City Chiefs. Pennell, I mean, I don't have to go through the list. It's long. And coaches, it's long. They just bring dudes back. Even guys who were here for a year. Juju Smith-Schuster, go play for the Patriots for a little bit. They'll talk about knee explosions. And here he comes. Come on back. 3 years from now, Juju Smith-Schuster, someone be a Chief again.
I mean, the obvious example is Kareem Hunt. He had all the legal problems in the world, and he still found his way back to Kansas City. Mine is more with Tyreek Hill. Like, do you think he is actually a weapon in your offense at his age in 2026? Yes, he is a great route runner. I agree for the texter that texted that in. I think he is as well, but we all know most of his game is predicated on speed. And so is he, with the knee injury, capable of still beating anybody in coverage? And I don't know the answer to that. It could be. But definitely, you can't say it's impossible that he comes back because the Chiefs have brought back Kareem Hunt. You know, like that. And most people probably thought that was never in play. So, yeah, Tyreek Hill, I think I think there's a 10 to 20% chance that he's back in Kansas City next year.
I really do. I can't put it less than that.
He's got to get cut first, which he will.
Yes. With their history of bringing back old faces, I mean, just brought EB back.
Yeah.
Like, there is no player or coach who can be gone long enough to come back. Nagy, Bieniemy have all come back. Every coach has. They just stumble back into the building. And every player, I mean, legitimately, Dana, you know who's going to be a Chief 2 years from now? Turk Wharton. He won't be a Chief now. He's getting paid a lot of money in Carolina. A couple years from now, when his cap number gets too high, he'll get cut and he'll come back to Kansas City on a 1-year deal. You can feel it. It is a part of their organizational philosophy. Whether that be Brett Veach or Andy Reid or the combo of them together, when at least the two of them together, we'll see. When it's just Brett Veach in charge and it's a different head coach, maybe the story's different. But as it sits right now, I genuinely, it is an organizational philosophy to bring in players that they are comfortable with. It just is. That's what they've done. They've retained players and brought players back. That's what they do. So, like, do I think there's a chance Tyreek Hill
real possibility
is a Chief again? Yes, absolutely. At least, like you said, a 1 in 4 shot that's going to happen.
Landing spots, if you're wondering, just offshore odds for Brandon Ayuk, whether it's via trade or if you do think they cut him. I know technically they could do a post-June 1 cut. We'll see. Because the contract's insane. So I sure as heck don't think the Chiefs should trade for him. Top spot, Buffalo, Washington. They listed Commanders because not only do they have a ton of cap space, their general manager, Adam Peters, was in San Francisco. Yeah. So that's the natural connection.
They need something with Jaden Daniels there.
New England's mentioned. We know they have a decent amount of cap space. They got a quarterback now. They want to add more weapons. Could Brandon Ayuk end up with Drake May in New England? The Chiefs don't have even the top 3 or 4 odds to land him, but we'll see. He's a name that will come up this offseason for the Chiefs. Is this the offseason where the Chiefs make the big free agent wide receiver signing? I don't really feel that is the case. I think they got to address running back and address defensive line, and maybe you go wide receiver in the draft again.
The name that you mentioned is Alec Pierce. I'd be all over Alec
Pierce.
He's going to
get a ton of money on the open market.
I would be all over that because you mentioned all these other guys about troubled wide receiver. Mm-hmm. I would be avoiding that like the plague if I was the Chiefs.
They don't care about that, dude. They love troubled players.
I understand that. But why would you want Brandon Ayuk when the man won't even show up?
Yeah, he quit.
He quit. Why would you? It doesn't matter about his talent. Why would you want that? A.J. Brown, I can at least understand because at least he plays. But even to the extent Alec Pierce is a great player that you can rely on to make big-time catches deep down the field.
I'll just tell you now.
They have a cheaper option, I suppose, in Tyquan Thornton. But if we're talking about players to bring in that are bigger names that are already solidified, Alec Pierce is way better than.
Would you be good on this contract? This from Bill Barnwell. This was an article he put out. He put an article, and it's a projection. Doesn't mean this is exactly what he's going to get. He said, so it might be a 3-year contract, but guaranteed over the first 2 years, he projects $62 million.
That's $30 million is the going rate.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what it's going to cost. Is Alec Pierce a really nice receiver, but is he the type of receiver you want to spend that kind of money on?
Yes, because you don't know if you're going to have Rashee Rice after this year or if you got to get rid of Xavier Worthy as well.
No, I think
he's worth it.
I will say.
They'll play out Worthy's contract. Worthy's on the team for the next 2 years.
Sure, but I just think from the standpoint of reliable weapons in a way.
Sure.
But they're hoping, and this is what's tough about Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce is, I think, actually kind of similar in style and career trajectory as Xavier Worthy. He was a second-round pick. He was picked right around the Sky Moore range. highly thought of draft pick. His first couple of years, he had 1,000 yards total and 4 touchdowns. He was not a big guy. He was not a big producer. In year 3, took a nice leap at 824 yards and 7 touchdowns, then became a 1,000-yard guy. Like my thing, Drew, and like I understand your argument from like an organizational stance of why take on these troubled players. All I'm here to tell you is the Chiefs view trouble for a player as value for a player. They do not mind taking on attitude and issues like that.
To save some money.
Yep. They think that they can cover it. And so when it comes to a guy like Ayuk or these others or Tyreek or any of the times they've had issues with guys, they will take on players who have off the field and sometimes even on the field trouble if they are talented.
And just hope that it works out.
Like, I mean, there's no better. I mean, he took Michael Vick straight out of prison. And, like, T.O. was already a known headache, and he brought him in. And Kareem Hunt had a history here, and they brought them back. Like, he doesn't care about that.
Well, I would say, as much as, like, you may not like, you said, and just hope that it works out, I will say to their credit, guys they've brought back that have had trouble or whatever, it actually has. I mean, Kareem Hunt, they brought back, it was actually pretty important for them a year ago on their way to a Super Bowl appearance a year ago. And most people didn't think they would bring him back. I sure as heck didn't think. You know, when they've brought back players, it actually has worked. Not every single time, but it has. Alec Pierce is gonna be the top receiver on the market, it looks like, and so he is a name to watch. I just don't know. Is he the guy though you want to commit to? And I don't know how much they liked him out of the draft. If we find out, we have to go back a couple years. If he was a guy on their board a couple years ago they really, really liked, then the likelihood of him increases. I just don't know with their cap situation, with the roster holes that they have, is this the offseason where they decide to go spend that kind of money on a wide receiver?
Can I bring up just one more name that is mentioned in this Bill Barnwell article? Over at ESPN.com, he obviously put an article out, and he put the free agent candidates, the cut candidates. The cut guys include Ayuk and Tyreek Hill. And the trade candidates. For one surprise name who I would kill for, if this is a real option, he put in the trade category from something he had heard that a real possibility is Brian Thomas Jr. could be available via trade.
Great rookie year, disappointing second year.
Now we're talking. Yeah. Now we're getting into like this is your version of the A.J. Brown trade when he was finishing up in Tennessee. You're trying to tell me that Brian Thomas is actually available for trade. Now I'm listening. Because like if you're going to talk about the Chiefs, I kind of feel like they're in a position right now that I wouldn't hate the swing for the fences. I understand that's a swing. That's a huge swing. You're going to have to give up a real draft capital in order to do that. But like, let's just even take I don't think it would take this pick, but let's just take the number 9 overall pick as an example. Let's say all the wide receivers are available, Drew, and all the mock drafts are all available. Carnell, Tate, they're all there at number 9, and you can have your pick of the litter or Brian Thomas Jr. right now, Gold. Who would you take? It's the number 9 overall pick. Thomas has been tossed back into the mix.
For what they need? Jordan Tyson.
You would take Tyson over Brian Thomas?
Yes.
The issue is
the Thomas have some real success.
The issue is
that's what's the drop problem.
Is the compensation that Brian Thomas is going to require, and it's going to require a first-round pick. And Bill Barnwell. Well, I'm not even talking about the contract. I'm just saying, like, I want to? If the Chiefs were picking 25th, I think it'd be a no-brainer. But hell yeah, at 9, I don't know if I want to give up the 9th overall pick for Brian Thomas.
I would. I just knowing that I might take Tyson. I look.
And Trevor Lawrence. A little concerning to me is that honestly, and Brian Thomas a year ago would be run to do this, and I still think he's very talented. Yeah. He had a great rookie year in a year in which Trevor Lawrence had his best season as a pro.
As an MVP
that the Jags won the division out of nowhere. Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers are great. Brian Thomas has a so-so year. That scares me a little bit.
What would you do for the second round pick?
Absolutely.
Okay,
but I don't know if that gets it done.
It might not. I'm just asking what your price tag is on it.
Yeah.
For a second round pick, agreed. In a millisecond, I would genuinely consider number 9 overall. Because again, it's all projection. Drew, you talk about this all the time when you're talking about trading Trent McDuffie. Mm-hmm. All Jordan Tyson is, Carnell Tate is, Lemon is a hope that they're Brian Thomas, essentially, 2,000 yards in their first 2 seasons. All I'm praying for, if I draft Carnell Tate, I would be thrilled if they draft Carnell Tate at 9, and in the first 2 seasons, you guarantee me they have 2,000 yards receiving. I know Brian Thomas did that. And so, like, it is very difficult. And I understand second year was way worse than year 1. But it's, I don't know, man.
He drops like 16% of his passes.
I would be worried about
209. He's the size you want.
I would be worried about the I would be worried about the draft.
Chad O'Shea's going to be on his ass for that, I guess.
Which is why I think, again, for me, it's not even an off-the-field thing. I'm talking about trouble in terms of George Pickens has issues on the field in games. Brandon Ayuk won't show up for the team. A.J. Brown has problems in the game with not getting reception. I think that's why I'm going to Alec Pierce for this. Like you can miss me with all the on the field. I'm not getting the ball. I'm irritated because I'm not getting the ball crap. I'm open. Throw me the damn ball. All this other stuff. That's why I'm taking Alec Pierce and I'm paying him because even though he took a little bit to get there, who's been throwing him the football? Phillip Rivers and Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. But also, like,
I would pay him.
Like, that notion, and I don't, like, I've said a statement very similar to yours, Drew, and I'm trying to, like, grow as I get older and, like, see the game more. I've fallen in love before, and Gold, we've talked about this on the show. We've done the show long enough that since then I've changed. I've fallen in love before with, look what he can do with even no quarter, like the Allen Robinson. I've fallen
we talked about
into
it the other day.
I have fallen into that trap, man. I have fallen into the trap that somehow Alec Pierce would be a 1,400-yard wide receiver if he just had a capable quarterback. And sometimes it's just, who are the other weapons around you? What was the season like individually? Alec Pierce shows a natural line of progression. I'm not interested in Alec Pierce. But I try to be careful with they had a bad quarterback, so if they just had a good quarterback, they'd be good here. We said that about Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster and some other guys who come here in Kansas City too, and their rates dropped because there just were less targets to go around.
If he doesn't get tagged by the Colts, he's going to be highly sought after in the free agent market, and he's going to get a big-time contract. The franchise tag number, I think people project for wide receivers like $31 million. I don't know if the Colts are in a position. I have no idea what their cap situation is. They're going to have to pay Daniel Jones, it looks like, on a brand-new contract this offseason if they decide to retain him, and all signs point to that happening. So can they tag Alec Pierce? If not, he becomes a free agent. We'll see. The Chiefs might be linked. I truly just don't know if this is the offseason, guys, where the Chiefs are financially in a position to go and pay that kind of money for any wide receiver. Like, that might be something that they're not able to do yet, knowing the other issues, potential contract
could matter with
questions that they
Travis
have.
too and other stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. That also changes the dynamic. Brian Thomas, intriguing name. No way in
Apparently, I'm
hell.
the only person who
no
would
way in
trade
hell
him.
for the
That could be wild, I
ninth
think.
overall. If the Chiefs, dude, if they were picking 30th, it's a different conversation. Ninth overall, absolutely.
I understand
You'd
that.
rather draft the guy to
Look,
me.
it's pretty clear
Yeah.
based on the text line and based on everybody saying, listen, dum-dum, that I'm in the minority here. It would be a hard decision. I'm not saying I
Yeah.
would make it lightly.
Gotcha.
You would have to think about. You would think about it at least.
But Drew, I'm surprised. You've spent like 2 weeks telling me you can't trade Trent McDuffie and hope to get Trent McDuffie. So why the hell can I not trade the pick to get Brian Thomas Jr. rather than just hope Carnell Tate is Brian Thomas Jr.?
Because you're not. Because what we've seen from Brian Thomas Jr. is totally different. Trent McDuffie's an All-Pro, top 5 of their position player. Brian Thomas Jr. He's really good.
After year one, people thought he might be a top 5 wide receiver.
I understand that, but I think after it's the drop thing for me. It's not even like his potential talent. It's the drop issue at times for me. Christian Kirk had a better season than him.
Parker Washington, these guys that
Parker
came
Washington
in,
was great. Like,
it was a weird year.
that's the
Jacoby
part that
Myers
scares
was
me
great.
off. That's
yeah,
the part.
I would be a little bit worried just because of the output of production has been good, but it's not all pro level stuff where I'm giving up the 9th overall pick.
Brian Thomas Jr. had the 4th most drops in the NFL this year with 10 of them.
Yeah, that would worry me.
in 14 games. And yeah, I mean, the same, I think I laid it out as well. Like the same thing. Trevor Lawrence has a career year and Brian Thomas has a worse year. That scares me a bit. But we'll see. We'll see if his name comes up. I know his name has been discussed and whether or not Liam Cohen likes him or not. Something tells me that Brian Thomas, if he's traded at all, it's like a draft day type of trade, draft night type of trade.
Last thing on it, and then I promise we'll move on. So at 10:30, we can talk about the Rams and Seahawks and the Broncos and Patriots. I'm going to list off to you the wide receivers who've had the 10 best rookie seasons of all time. You tell me if their career worked out. Okay? Because Brian Thomas is on this list. I just want to point out the company he's
great
keeping.
rookie year. Great rookie
Puka
year.
Nakua. Bill Groman. I don't know who the hell that is. He's from 1960, so maybe he worked out. I don't know. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Anquan Bolden, Randy Moss, Odell Beckham Jr., Malik Neighbors.
What did these guys do in their second season? What did they do in the second season? I think that's.
I'm just saying he would have to be the exception to the rule.
Sure.
Not,
But you go from that season to having the 4th most drops of any wide receiver in football. I think it's a concern.
That to me still means he's open. Like, I feel like I can teach someone to catch still. I don't, maybe that's crazy, but, I still think I can teach someone to catch.
But now we're making the conversation sound like Drew and I are saying that he stinks. I don't think Brian Thomas stinks at all. I think he's
receiver,
my thing is...
I'm saying I just listed a bunch of Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I think Brian Thomas is very, very good. Had a disappointing second year. I'm a little nervous because Trevor Lawrence had a career year and then Parker Washington shows up out of nowhere and Jacoby Myers gets traded midseason to him. They give him an extension. All of that is a little concerning. This is not Brian Thomas stinks by any means. I just am simply looking at the draft capital needed. If it's true, 9th overall, no. If late first-round pick, second-round pick, totally different conversation. But props to the Jags. If the Jags can get a top 10 pick for Brian Thomas, then they should probably make that trade.
Yeah, and I think that's why he was on Bill. In fairness, that's why he was on Bill Barnwell's possibility to trade list, just because.
We'll get back to this later, I'm sure. As you said, coming up in about 8 minutes or so, we'll talk about the NFC side of the championship weekend with the Rams and the Seahawks. Do want to pass along just kind of this crazy story that I don't know if anybody's been keeping an eye on it over the last year. At this point, it involves a former Olympian, and news just came down this morning that Ryan Wedding, who's a former Olympic snowboarder for Canada, he was on like the FBI top 10 fugitive list. And he had been facing charges related to, they allege multinational drug trafficking and perhaps the killing of a federal witness as well. And there's been like this international manhunt for this guy. And he was arrested this morning, according to the Associated Press. 2 people telling the AP he's accused of running a drug trafficking operations. And he was on that list. Authorities had offered a $15 million reward for information leading to his arrest. But this was a guy that was on Team Canada Olympics. And the Olympics, of course, are starting up here. Here in 3 weeks or so. Now would not have been on the Olympic team anytime soon. He's in his 40s, but he competed for his home country in the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, and he was charged in 2024 allegedly used semi trucks to move cocaine between Colombia, Mexico, Southern California, and Canada. And he
real Esteban
has
Loaiza.
His aliases included Public Enemy and James Conrad Ken and El Jefe.
Well, he's got some real Breaking Bad nicknames, huh? Yeah. El Jefe. And he's got some real, those are some Breaking Bad nicknames.
Yeah.
Man, got bleak. You know what? Sometimes it's hard. That Olympian life. I saw Ryan Lochte was recently selling some gold medals, too.
Oh, that's a little different than, allegedly narco trafficking and murder.
Oh, yeah, that's worse.
Just hard on financial and selling some gold medals is a little bit different, Cody, than what this guy was doing, allegedly.
Sometimes it's hard after that Olympic life. That's all.
Man, oh man. All right, up next, let's talk about championship weekend. Rams, Seahawks, what's that play there? And the Ravens have a new head coach. What does that mean for the rest of the AFC?
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. More energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325. Boom! On back-to-back weekends, the new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam! Let's go!
One subscription.
Oh, my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go!
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month, only on Paramount Plus.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins, just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Just getting started on a Friday. Don't forget.
Go ahead. Give your speech.
I was going to say, don't forget, coming up on Tuesday, February 10th, we've got the Chiefs off-season show right here on 96.5 The Fan. Bob, Dusty, and C-Dot all going to be in studio with us from 9 a.m. to 11. We'll be talking all things Chiefs off-season right here on your home for the Chiefs, 96.5 The Fan.
Would you do next year's first-round pick for Brian Thomas? I want to know what the price tag is that you'd pay. Next year's first, Drew?
Next year,
I would just do a second. I still would just try it. I would do a second.
Next year, the Chiefs would be picking hopefully closer to the 20s.
Again, yeah. Or 30s, you know.
I still think there would have to be some picks coming back my direction in that hypothetical.
If I was the Jaguars, I would trade him for next year's first. If I that's what I would be trying to do. Forget this year's first. I would try next year's first round pick.
Oh, just because of the talent pool, the 2027 draft.
Play the long
You're telling
game.
me that
But
somehow
is the talent pool worth drafting 10 spots worse? You know what I mean? That's the debate you have to go in.
It depends on who you trade him to.
You know, is it worth going from 9 to 24, let's say, or 25 in a deeper, like losing 15 spots in a deeper pool? Isn't it a wash at that point? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see. I don't think the Chiefs are trading for Brian Thomas. I'd be fascinated to know what the real compensation is.
It could just be. It could be. I don't know if the Giants are like, sure, we'll give you next year's first because we think we're going to be better with Harbaugh and all these other things, yada yada yada. And if things don't work out and they're like the 10th pick, you can trade up and get Jeremiah Smith instead. Sign me up if I'm the Jags.
Hey,
I would absolutely do.
But
why
would the Giants do that in Brian Thomas when they can just draft if they want, Carnell Tate without having to give up any draft capital? If they want a wide receiver, to me, I would just take Carnell Tate at what do they pick at 6?
The case is. Yeah, I mean, it could be anybody.
4.
At least I brought up a draft pick where at least it's not the ones. I feel like the ones that come from Twitter sometimes are the ones that no other team would say yes to, and the Chiefs would immediately accept. Like, would you give up a 7th-round pick for Justin Jefferson? You know what?
By the way,
I would.
How about this news in the NFL? We mentioned we'll get to the Bills coaching job, and Mike McDaniels is interviewing. How about this from Adam Schefter? Phillip Rivers is interviewing today for the Bills head coaching job. Please hire him. Please.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, is that a real report?
Yep. Adam Schefter.
Let me pull that up.
Sources. Former Colts quarterback, current St. Michael Catholic High School coach Phillip Rivers is interviewing today for the Bills head coaching job.
Okay, I haven't asked for much in this world. As a matter of fact, I don't remember making like a Christmas wish. New wish.
What is this, Jeff Saturday all over again? At least he's a quarterback.
Next 5 birthday wishes in a row. I would like Phillip Rivers to be the next head coach of the Bills.
What a week in Buffalo.
Please.
What a week. I mean, it's not as bad as Jeff Saturday because I'll take the quarterback over the offensive lineman in this hypothetical for this, but like, come on now.
It's crazy to me
They're not going to hire him, right?
How you can damage your reputation. And if you had asked me where I ranked the Bills as a functional organization 2 weeks ago, I'd have said, they're one of the 5-10 best organizations in the league. They are. They've been damaging their reputation.
They're approaching Bengals territory, or maybe worse if they hired Phillip Rivers.
They are damaging their reputation with some of the decision making. That end of the year press conference, all of that stuff is driving me towards that. My God, please let Phillip Rivers become the Bills head coach. This is my dream now. I didn't even realize I had this dream until this morning. Till right now, I didn't even realize this is something I wanted.
Phillip Rivers, from Sean McDermott to interviewing Phillip Rivers, tells me they had zero plan when their owner's not lying. When he walked in the locker room and he just said, I don't feel basically this team,
we've hit a
has it
championship
anymore
wall.
or whatever.
You know what's funny is saying we've hit a championship wall and then hiring Phillip Rivers is the funniest juxtaposition of all time.
He can be the backup quarterback as well, so saves him some money on the cap. Yeah.
Phillip Rivers is literally the living example of hit the wall and never accomplish anything. He's like the face of it. He'd be in the Mount Rushmore of look how good I was without doing anything. What are you doing?
I mean, if he got the head coaching job, I'd just put him in the Hall of Fame immediately, right away. Just going from playing 3 weeks ago to being a head coach of the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen.
I mean, I just got to say, he's charismatic.
I will say, though, man, if I'm one of these high school kids, what a run they're on. Their coach got to go to the NFL and play in legit NFL games after already having a very, very nice, potentially Hall of Fame career. You got to be part of that story. He flew you in, need to watch your coach play in the National Football League, and now your high school coach is getting a legitimate interview with an NFL team to potentially coach Josh Allen.
Oh, man.
Hell of a story for those kids.
Please.
For the rest of their life.
Yeah, that's true. That's quite the term. Please. Please. Bills, do it. I think it'd be a great hire.
Yeah.
You should totally do it.
Yeah.
I'm not mocking it at all.
Interesting update there. 913-586-7965. Appreciate the interaction. Even the one person that is having a huge fit and freaking out that we're talking NFL today instead of Royals baseball. It's going to be okay. It really is. It's going to be just fine. I promise. Let's talk about championship weekend in the NFL. It's kind of a big deal that is happening on Sunday with the Rams and the Seahawks, and then, of course, the Broncos and the Patriots. Rams, Seahawks, we've discussed the storylines with the quarterbacks in this, and you got one who could just completely cement his entire legacy by getting to another Super Bowl in Matthew Stafford and with Sean McVay. And then you have a Seattle team that has been maybe the best team all year, certainly the back half of the season, but people continue to doubt him because they're waiting for Sam Darnold to turn into a pumpkin. And I think his performance in Week 18 showed that he had taken a step forward. And last week, in their game against the Niners, they really didn't ask him to do much. They had the big lead. Their defense was dominant. This game does feel like he's going to have to do a bit more.
I think we've just, and I think it's the Darnold part, and we can't get past it. I like Seattle to win this game. And it's not that I have some ill will towards the Rams or don't think they're balanced. They were a top 10 offense and defense, the Rams. They have Sean McVay, but Mike McDonald has more than earned in the last season alone that he can turn everywhere he's gone. He's turned quarterbacks into viable NFL quarterbacks. He continued the trend. Darnold had obviously already had a nice year in Minnesota. They were the number 1 ranked defense in the league this year and the number 2 ranked offense. They are as deep on the defensive line as any team in the NFL. They have one of the 10 best wide receivers, and I think that I'm just saying that number so we don't have to argue over it, in the NFL and JSN. And so I just think they're the better team. The Rams have always been a good team this year. The Seattle Seahawks have had the best roster in the NFL for the entire season. They came out of the toughest division in football. They decimated their divisional round game, and they've beaten the Rams already this year. And so I just think it's a good balance. I think for you, you're right. It is, you are going to have to, if you pick the Seahawks, not you, but if you think the Seahawks are going to win this game, you are going to have to mentally get over the hurdle that is Sam Darnold is going to beat, Sam Darnold and a guy we barely know in Mike McDonald are going to beat Stafford and McVay on championship weekend. And I know that that is a difficult bridge to cross. But if you look at every other 52 part players of the roster, and you just accept that Mike McDonald might also just be a great young head coach, then it's not that hard of a bridge to cross. I think it's going to be scoring, though. I will say, I do still, despite the fact the Seahawks are a good offense, I think these teams will get in the 20s, and I think it'll come down to a last possession thing. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout.
I want the Rams to win only because, frankly, we did predictions, and I'm not going to pick against them when we predicted them to be in the Super Bowl. But the Seattle Seahawks are playing better football than anybody. And to me, the Rams are the only team that can go into Seattle and actually win. And this game is not a pick 'em. It's -2.5, as you said. Seattle is right around a field goal favorite in this particular game. The way they are playing is on a different level. These are the two best teams remaining. Like, not even close. If
you lined up both sides,
this would be the Super Bowl matchup. These are clearly, and I would have said that.
Whoever's in the NFC side is likely to be my Super Bowl prediction.
We should have made the bet a month ago. I was talking with Bob and Dusty about this yesterday on their show. We should have made this bet a month ago, Cody. You could have just bet AFC versus NFC, right? You could have bet NFC, plus 120 or minus 115 versus AFC without even knowing the matchups. Because by the time we get to Super Bowl Sunday, especially, let's say it's Seattle and it's Denver. Well, then, shoot. I mean,
they're going to be a touchdown favorite.
Probably
more, maybe 9.5.
Super Bowl
touchdown. Probably.
Super Bowl. I don't think it'd be that. It could be 6. If it's Patriots Rams or Patriots Seahawks, then maybe it's in that normal 2 to 3 range. But I think the NFC team, you would have got better value if you were willing to do that. The NFC, with the path and the more experience that exists there, certainly with the Rams in this case, I think the winner of this game will win the Super Bowl, yes.
I agree. I mean, that's going to be just the general prediction, so I guess we're letting you know early. We can tell you how we think the game's going to go.
And how about Mike McDonald? I mean, he's a coach that I bet you most casual fans have no clue who he is. It's only his second year in the league. He's not a huge personality by any means. He's just a solid football coach.
He kind of feels like a young Harbaugh,
Interesting.
Like that. Like that's how I would.
He came from Baltimore,
but that's what it feels like. Yeah. Like a young John Harbaugh. He's even keeled, serious, detailed. His team just does all the little things well. And they spent big free agent dollars to get Sam Darnold to go there to Seattle. Maybe less than if he hadn't blown it. They still took the chance. He saw something there from an outsider's perspective that told him, we can win with that guy. He's done nothing but win in his time there. I know he's only been in one postseason game. They didn't go to the postseason year 1. But he turned it around pretty quick. And he had Geno Smith the first year. Said, you know what, not good enough. And went to Sam Darnold and made it work. And so I'm a big believer. On the other end, this is just like, is there a way that I can even convince myself that Denver can win this game with Jarrett Stidham?
Yeah.
And the only way I can do that is if I just knock down Bo Nix a little bit. Here's what I figure is the difference is. I'm still not overly impressed with the way Bo Nix looks as a quarterback. So there's part of me that thinks Jarrett Stidham can operate the offense and keep them in this game, especially because of their defense. The one thing I'm going to give Bo Nix credit for, and the reason why I think the Broncos inevitably come up short is Bo Nix still in this postseason and late in the regular season was making some big-time throws in big-time moments. I think he might have a little bit of that, and this might be why Sean Payton likes him. Some of that, Russ, clutch, big-time moment. He plays bigger in big moments, even though I don't like the way he plays all the time football. Stidham's not doing that, right? So defensively, can they keep it close? Sure. Can Drake May make some mistakes to keep this close? Yeah. But I'm going to have a hard time talking myself into Denver winning this game. I'm going to pick New England to win it.
So the Bo Nix part is where it's interesting because if you see Denver as a 4.5-point underdog with Jarrett Stidham as their quarterback at home, what would the line be if Bo Nix was the starter? And I don't think Denver would switch to being a favorite. Bo Nix is not worth 5 or 6 points. So, all right, then what is he worth? Is he worth 2 or 3 points? Would Denver be a 1-point dog at home? I actually kind of think that's what it would be, 1.5 points. So from a betting angle, I think taking Denver to cover is not a terrible strategy. I think New England probably wins the game. But defensively, I think their defense keeps them in it. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me at the end of the first quarter if the game's tied or Denver has the lead. Their defense has actually not played well in the postseason, the one game. They've given up more yards and points, I think, than any other team in the postseason this year because of what happened last week, where Josh Allen still, against that defense, put up 30-plus in a loss. And they forced 5 turnovers and they still gave up 30. That's a little weird. But I don't believe Denver's defense now, after everything we saw all year, is now just average out of nowhere.
No,
and Drake
great.
May has struggled to protect the football a little bit. I think this will be a much closer game than people think. Because in my group text with some friends, and I'm sure you talk with your friends about the game like everybody would.
Well, I told you my brother was a Broncos fan, so is my dad.
Yeah, and
I had to
everybody's like, how are they only 4.5-point favorites in this game? One, it's the NFL, but I think people have this assumption that Denver should be 8-point underdogs or something. And that's just, but again, Bo Nix is not worth 6, 7, 8 points.
No,
so
I agree.
For me, I think it's closer. I'll pick New England to win, spoiler. Again, I'm just going for the Rams-Patriots matchup. That's just from what our prediction a month ago or whatever.
Sure.
But I think Denver has a chance to make this far more interesting, given the fact that this is not losing Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes and going to a backup. It's losing Bo Nix and going to a backup.
I will say I had to break the news to my dad. So I texted my dad. I was like, oh, my God, terrible news about Bo Nix. What? That stinks. He said, sorry, what happened with Bo Nix? I was like, oh, you must have turned the TV off right after your squad won.
Dang.
You must have turned the TV off the second your squad went down because bad news. He done.
That's tough.
So that part, obviously. But no, obviously I think the Broncos have probably the better defense on aggregate. But I will say the Patriots defense is peaking at the right time. They are playing their best football now. And so, I don't know, man. I just have a hard time seeing Stidham getting it together.
Part of me, like my head says Patriots, but in my gut, I don't know. It's something about this. I don't know. Football's weird.
Stidham's going to get to the Super Bowl?
Football is really weird, and I feel like that defense is good enough that something is going to happen, and Denver's going to win that game. There's just a weird feeling I have about it. Like, I'm telling myself, like, the Patriots are the better team. They're going to win the game, but there's still part of me that's like, I don't know, man. It's a weird sport.
I got to say, from a Kansas City perspective, this idea that for the last 20 years, the Super Bowl only ever has Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. That's it. Just one of those two quarterbacks is in every Super Bowl for the last 20 straight years. That the one that one of them wouldn't be in is Jared Stidham versus Sam Darnold. Chef kiss. I mean, just perfect.
No, I hear you.
Just perfect. I would kind of love that.
It's already played. It's already played out really well.
Please,
it's already played out well if you're a Chiefs fan. The way the postseason has gone. I know, like you would have wanted Broncos somehow to lose last week, but that was not possible. But now that it's not even their starting quarterback, the Broncos are not going to go on and win the Super Bowl, even if they get there, in my opinion. So. Yeah, this is actually working out really well. The only thing that cannot happen, I don't want the Patriots to win. And if you're saying why it's not the same old Patriots, their fans still stink and have tried to do everything to downplay what the Chiefs have done over the last 7 years. And I don't need Boston sports fans back in my life on a daily basis again. They've been irrelevant for a couple of years. And so I'll go ahead and take Drake May to lose if possible and not win a Super Bowl. But I do think we're going to see the Patriots get there at least.
Yeah. I mean, God, it would be funny, though. That would be funny. Coming up in just about 30 minutes, we'll play some clips from J.J. Piccolo, who actually joined this show next Tuesday as the Royals get ready for the Royals rally, which Vern will be at, obviously. But obviously, the head coaching hires we've continued to keep an eye on. Two of the biggest rivals for the Chiefs the last decade have been the Bills and now the Ravens. Ravens have a hire. They went Jesse Minter. Gold, the former staffer, who obviously was the DC for the Chargers. I do think the Chargers part is interesting because now in the division, Harbaugh has to replace his OC and his DC, and his pick for offensive coordinator might still get a head coaching job. Mike McDaniel has interviewed for now the Bills and is, according to people in the know, like Vic Taffer over there in Las Vegas, says he's still a candidate for the Raiders job. Like he's still in heavy consideration for the Raiders head coaching job, which would still put him in the division. What do we? I guess first off, before we talk about what they're going to do with the Ravens OC and the Chargers DC and all this stuff, Jesse Minter as a Ravens coach feels right. Like that feels like the kind of hire I would expect him to make.
Had a great defense.
They used to be. I think Drew said he would hate it.
Flores or Minter, I didn't care too much for. So this one, it's a little annoying, frustrating.
Like, I think it's not the worst if you're talking about if you can make the right OC hire. Because Lamar Jackson still got to find a guy who can take him to that, like, it's like a quarter step for players of his talent. He's got so many years left of this kind of athleticism, and they got to take it up. But if they're saying our way to win in the AFC North, and this has historically been very true, is to get back to being a tough-nosed, hard-fought, battle-you-to-death defense, I mean, I can't really argue with that from a Ravens perspective. It makes sense as a hire. It's a very Ravens hire, I guess is what I would say.
The two guys during the season that everybody said as a defensive mind would eventually probably get Hafley was a name in Green Bay, and Jesse Minter. Those were the two defensive guys that everybody thought would get their first opportunity to be head coaches, and now that has happened. One is went from Green Bay to Miami. The other now goes from the Chargers to the Ravens. They want to restore, what they were defensively. The question will be, who's his OC? That's where I think Cliff Kingsbury could be fascinating, but I don't know if his scheme, air raid, and all that necessarily fits there in Baltimore. But if he's willing to pivot a little bit, that would be fascinating. It looks more and more like, if you're waiting for Clint Kubiak, if he's going to get a head coaching gig, it's going to be Arizona or Cleveland?
If I were Clint Kubiak, pass?
Buffalo.
I mean, seriously,
Buffalo
pass? I don't want either of those jobs.
Buffalo's interviewing all these people, and again, Clint Kubiak's complicated because he's still alive in the postseason, so that might be why some of that's delayed. But otherwise, it feels like the Bills are just going to cast the widest net possible because they just interviewed, as we now know, or are interviewing Phillip Rivers. If you're just joining us, Phillip Rivers is getting a real interview with the Buffalo Bills to be their head coach.
I just didn't know. I didn't know that I needed that still, and I want it. But the Bills, this goes back to, ownership matters. And, again, 2 weeks ago, because the Bills were just, regularly on a success train, I didn't think their ownership was all that bad. And now I've had to watch their ownership for the last 72 hours, and I'm like, maybe it's not all that good. And they're going to run into some real problems. So, like, again, I hope Jesse Minter is not a good head coach for the obvious reasons, and I hope that Mike McDaniel gets a head coaching job so that Harbaugh has to find yet another OC and cause some of the problems inside of that. So, like, we can all hope for these little things to go inside it. But Minter, I mean, generally speaking, that seems like a pretty solid hire to me. He was at the top. He was one of the 3 candidates almost every single team interviewed. And he got, if you're Jesse Minter, he got one of the I'd argue now, with the way this Bills thing's going, he got the best job. Jesse Minter got the best job available. So, like, for him, good for Jesse Minter. Obviously, I hope that he doesn't work out and he doesn't have good chemistry or whatever so that the Chiefs have an easier path. But it's also a bigger problem for Drew's squad.
Baltimore also just hasn't really gotten in the Chiefs' way anyway, come playoff time either.
Yeah.
Like Buffalo.
We'll see what happens with it, I guess. Are you talking to people on the text line?
I was telling Drew there's a cut I want him to pull. That's
For me?
all.
Did I say something?
No, not of you. No. Whenever we get it, we get it. It's just it fits with the coaching stuff, and it's something that happened in Miami Dolphins owners press conference today. We've had some owners press conferences. There's always
bad ownership matters.
There's always some good stuff that comes from ownership press conferences. We had the Bills one earlier in the week, and then Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, had a press conference today where they were, or yesterday I guess it was, when they were introducing their GM and their head coach, and just was a funny moment. That's all. I was telling Drew in his ear to, hey, can you possibly roll this in? And that's what he's doing.
Can I say that based on, and then we'll move on to the next thing, but can I say that based on how big of crybabies the Bills are as a franchise lately, that Phillip Rivers would be an excellent fit for that? He was the original crybaby guy. Nothing but complaining to the refs. He'd be a perfect fit. Personality hire, you know? It all makes sense. I don't know, man. I'm just, I know the text line, like the coaching stuff, it's a more interesting cycle. Whether you like it or not, this is the most interesting coaching cycle from the Chiefs' perspective than we've had ever. The Chargers are actively looking for a new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Maybe have Mike McDaniel, maybe not. The Raiders are going to draft number 1 overall in a quarterback and are looking for a new head coach. Their 2 biggest rivals, so let's get out of the division, in the Bills and the Ravens, the only other one would probably be the Bengals, actively are seeking new head coaches. So, like, there's just a lot of movement around
It's been a
Chiefs.
fascinating coaching cycle. It has. And this was Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, talking about his new GM and his new head coach.
This is our guy. And I'm very, very thrilled to really, welcome John Eric Sullivan as our general manager. The enthusiasm, the knowledge, the background, Jeff stood out.
You didn't know the people he hired?
I will say, I think the music in the background makes it a little bit funnier, and I did not roll that in.
I was wondering if you put the music in there.
That was a part of the video.
Yeah, Stephen Ross forgot the head coach's name that he just hired.
That's tough.
His owners keep screwing up these press conferences, man. Providing great content, though. I appreciate it.
Drew, and you know this because you're big. Ownership matters.
At
it
least,
is hard to overcome.
Sure.
Or ask the White Sox, any sport. It's not football specific. Ask any sport. It is almost impossible to overcome.
I will say, at least I am glad that Mike Brown is not to the degree of Terry Pagula or Stephen Ross, at least from this standpoint, or Jerry Jones. He, for the most part, he's just cheap. That's just my that's all he is. He does not go on a media tour. He doesn't say things. He barely ever does any media availability at all. It's kind of refreshing to see, or to not see the Bengals being brought up in ownership stuff when you see what's happening in Miami and Buffalo.
Thinking of just how organizations handle stuff, what do you guys make of the reports in Buffalo? Not only that now they're going to interview Phillip Rivers legitimately for a head coaching position, but that Josh Allen is sitting in on, at least I don't know if he's asking quite, but he is sitting in on interviews for his next head coach.
So I need more context to give you a firm opinion in the sense that if he's simply just sitting in and taking notes and offering a couple of things here or there of what he liked or didn't like, I don't have a massive issue with that. If this is like the way I've described Joe Burrow making decisions on behalf of the franchise, hate it. Because the odds of you both being an elite level quarterback and also an elite level personnel man of hiring head coaches seems pretty low. It's so like, I don't want quarterbacks making actual decisions on who to hire for a head coach or which wide receivers to draft or which players to sign, you are allowed input. I'm a believer of you're a big important part of this. You deserve to be a part of the input process. I almost just feel like it'd be better if you just like watch some of the interviews and offered some opinions and sit in on them.
If he's just there observing,
a real fringe. It just depends on his level.
I definitely, it depends on how involved. Two things. One, my guess is he's just truly sitting in on the interview. Like he's there, he's listening, and he then at the end of the interviews, perhaps ownership asks just his input. It doesn't mean that he is making the hire. I get the Joe Burrow comp. I just view, if it is in fact more in depth, I view him a little different. Take Joe Burrow out of it. Just let's say Josh Allen was telling them which players to sign. I would have the same take. I think a quarterback liking the head coaching hire and feeling like he has some input at his stage of his career, to me, I personally just view it as a little bit different than, hey, make sure you sign my buddy to a contract that's my wide receiver and don't spend money on defense.
I think it could be different, but I don't know that.
I don't know if it's different. I just think a player trying to make GM decisions, as in what players to give contracts to, is way more problematic than, hey, my quarterback is sitting in on a meeting and says, yeah, I wouldn't mind that guy as my head coach. I view him a little bit different.
I don't mind either of them,
I think you're
honestly.
soft, not like, but like you're viewing it as like it's probably best case scenario in the sense that he's just giving a little input. But there's a chance that it is the Joe Burrow thing, and he just said,
fine, let's max it out. I'll play the other game too. Let's say they both are as involved as possible. Joe Burrow is literally negotiating contracts, and Josh Allen is conducting the entire coaching interview.
And he's choosing the coach.
I would rather have the quarterback choosing my coach than the quarterback negotiating contracts with his teammates.
So
yes, I would.
Now you're changing it a little bit, and I understand. Like
you asked me to go to the extreme.
No. I'm just saying if you're changing the question to which one would I rather, a player choose a player or a player choose a coach, weirdly enough, I think you can make the argument. And look, I think you make the argument on either side of that. Player choosing a coach is a bigger decision, isn't it?
Not if it's the face of my
than
franchise.
The player choosing a player?
This decision is okay. That's again. Now we're also changing it.
But that's what I'm saying. I think rather than making a smaller decision,
versus hiring a head coach that Josh Allen eventually doesn't get along with and butts heads with so much that he asks for a trade. I think that has way more consequences if the coach and quarterback doesn't have the same rapport.
Like I guess in that case, it's like I highly doubt they just choose a guy he hates, right?
But that's why input's important. Maybe there was a guy. Maybe they love Phillip Rivers in the process, and Josh Allen's like, "Are you freaking kidding me? I want a guy that's coached in the NFL before."
That's why I don't mind him. It just depends on this is the thing I don't know. Rather than
I think Jackson Dart sat in on met with John Harbaugh. Yeah. Do we think that's weird?
This is one of those, and again, I've already told you, this is one of those things I can't know what I don't know. And so if it is, as you're describing, just sitting on the meetings and offering some input, I don't have any issue with it. That's fine. I don't have
a problem with any of it.
I just don't want him forcing the decision for the team. I just feel like that's always a
And my
dangerous
guess
step.
is they will not let Josh Allen literally make the head coach hire.
And I don't think Joe Burrow made the decision to extend T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. He also said pay Trey Hendrickson. I think a lot of people forget that on the Super Bowl tour. He said pay Trey.
He didn't say that one kind of secondhand.
I'm just saying. I
He didn't say it until after the one.
Well, yeah, because he's the quarterback. I think to an extent, I would like Patrick Mahomes doing the camp pat down there. Hey, man, I really vibed with this guy. Can we try to find a way to take him? I would totally be for that. I don't mind.
I think that has happened. I think it absolutely has happened. I think that's why Tyquan Thornton and him had the rapport they had.
I don't mind. I don't mind if Patrick Mahomes he won't be able to do it this year, but in the future, if he's like, hey, this is my guy. I trained with him and it works. We need to find a way to pick him. I don't have a problem with that. And I mean, if they pick him, then did Patrick Mahomes make the pick? No, but I think your star quarterback having influence like that is totally fine. Like if Drake May wants a certain weapon during offseason training, if he trains with a guy that's going in the draft, he's like, hey, man, I think we should draft this guy. Then I don't mind that being a decision that is being made by the quarterback when they're going to have a direct relationship, if you will, going back to the relationship thing. Yeah. I don't have a problem with Josh Allen is helping make the hire, just the same as I don't have a problem if Joe Burrow is like, hey, pay my guy because I have got a chemistry
Players
with him.
are terrible at it. LeBron's been trying to do this for years. Players are terrible at it. You're not player personnel guys. You don't get to tell me who we hire. It's just it's not.
I think the NBA is a completely different ball game.
Basketball's a little bit different.
I think the NBA is a completely different ball game. I mean, I legitimately think that in basketball, Cody, you could be the coach of the Lakers and the result wouldn't be all that much different. I just think basketball is a different game. Once they're on the floor, it's a little bit more of the players are truly just doing.
I get what you're saying though, where you don't want you don't want decisions to be made solely by the players in terms of transactional deals, like where you're essentially threatening. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. We'll see as the Bills coaching search just got a little more strange with Phillip Rivers reportedly getting an interview. Up next, though, let's take a look in the future a little bit based on what Jeremy Fowler had to say about the 2026 season. And what did J.J. Piccolo tell Vern last night about a couple key players moving into this upcoming season?
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Look, this year is going to be your best year for sex because you're going to take the advice and try the chewable tablets from Blue Chew. Their tablets can help you feel and perform at your best, stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Be more confident where it counts. Blue Chew is a small chew for a big difference. Look, hey, the neighbors haven't been making as much noise lately. I don't know if they cooled off or whatever the case is, but you got to show up during life's most exciting moments. Be ready when she is. Date nights just got longer and better for everyone. You'll have flashbacks to your glory days. Blue Chew, their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient for your prescription. And it's not just about performance. Give your partner something to brag to their friends about because nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. You can discover your options at BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use the promo code KFNZ at checkout. Just cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use the promo code KFNZ. Just cover $5 for shipping. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
Are you ready for some action, basketball fans? Dusty Likens here. You know I am. BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify those winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like dark mode as well. We have lots in store between now and when the new champions are crowned. So log into BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you feel embarrassed, trapped, maybe even ashamed just because you own a timeshare? Well, I'm here to tell you you're not alone. Chuck McDowell here, the timeshare cancellation guy. I get over 3,000 complaints a week from all kinds of folks that feel the same way you do. Honest people, teachers, veterans, grandparents, all losing sleep over a timeshare they can't get rid of. That's why 15 years ago, I founded Wesley Financial Group to help people take their lives back. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we would want our own family to be treated. That mindset has helped us cancel over 50,000 timeshares from people just like you. So if you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-261-3377. 800-261-3377. 800-261-3377.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Escape to your new coastal seafood paradise. Introducing Aqua Pennies, where the freshest seafood, a full-service raw bar, prime steaks and chops, exquisite handcrafted cocktails, and a one-of-a-kind atmosphere come together in perfect harmony. Aqua Pennies is now open in Park Place, Leawood. Don't miss out. Experience something truly different. Tantalize your taste buds and elevate your evening out. To learn more, go to aquapennies.com.
Coast into Aqua Pennies, now open for lunch.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Empower. Ellie here is getting the sleeve she's always dreamed of. She worked with Empower and planned for her next move. So she got good at money. Now she can be a little bad. Oh, by the way, you spelled journey wrong. No worries. She can afford the cover-up too. Ooh, check out my tat. It says, invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the trash of the day in about 15 minutes or so. Hope everybody is staying warm as possible out there. Brian Busby said it best this morning, I think, with Bob and Dusty.
Okay, the wind chill's going to be a bitch.
He said the wind chill is going to be a bitch, is what he said. It kind of got cut off there. But that's what he had to say. And Bink's not happy either.
Oh, my God, there's too much snow.
There's no snow yet, Bink.
It's going to be cold as hell.
Yes, it will be. And yes, it is, actually.
Oxymoron?
It is. It is very, very cold already out there. I hope you guys are having as good of a Friday as you possibly can have, considering the weather and everything. We'll get to what JJ Piccolo talked to Vern about last night on the Hot Stove Show. Looking ahead to spring training, which is for pitchers and catchers, a week away or so, roughly?
What about?
And so JJ Piccolo gearing up for the Royals Rally as well, which is taking place on Saturday, January 31st. Vern will be out there talking to some other members of the front office, players as well. I know the Royals, I think, just announced a couple more players that have committed to being at the Royals Rally. I think, if I remember right, Isaac Collins is now locked in for Royals Rally. I saw Matt Strahm as another addition, and Carlos
Some of the new guys.
Estevez. Yeah.
Well, not Estevez, but the other two guys.
Collins and Strahm, yeah. Absolutely.
New and old Strahm. Have you?
Fair.
Did you see the side-by-side photos
the hair,
of when?
The hair.
Well, and all the hair, facial,
Yeah.
top of head, whatever, like he is a completely different looking human being. He looked like just like a little 21-year-old who's never gotten a tattoo or grown a beard in his life the last time he was here. Now, of course, completely different. Also, very good player. So very excited about that addition.
So we will talk a little baseball coming up in 8 minutes or so. But Jeremy Fowler was going through, looking ahead a little bit, and it's always fun to think about what the next version of the Ravens or the Chiefs or the Raiders in this circumstance here, as we start with, could look like and how it impacts. Why the NFL, frankly, is king, because the offseason and the transactional element of the sport is so fascinating, not just the product on the field, but the conversations around it. It is just more entertaining than some other leagues. And the folks over at ESPN put together their predictions that they compiled from executives around the league. So they had basically NFL executives kind of predict anonymously what they think could happen, from scouts to executives to coaches. The one that headlines this article is a prediction from at least one executive that The Ravens trade Lamar Jackson to the Las Vegas Raiders.
If you're the Raiders and they would give him to you for 1-1, don't you have to make that?
If I'm the Raiders, yes, but why on earth would the Ravens make this trade?
I don't know. Maybe they just now look, in fairness, I think the Ravens made their choice. When they let Harbaugh go, they chose Lamar. They didn't choose like a total reset. And I imagine Minter doesn't take that job if for some reason he doesn't think Lamar is their quarterback anymore. That feels like the biggest stretch of stretches of all time, maybe. I don't know which quarterbacks could be on the market. Sometimes quarterbacks do get traded, but it's not going to be Lamar Jackson this year.
Two-time MVP after they moved on, as you said, from Harbaugh. I mean, if I'm the Raiders, where do I sign? I mean, absolutely. I'd give up the number 1 overall pick in a heartpit for Lamar Jackson.
You would? I'm surprised. I didn't know if everyone would be on the same page. Drew, would you?
The only reason why you wouldn't is for the reason that you said the past couple of days that you only think Lamar's got 2 to 3 years left of athleticism
of this level of
I think
athleticism.
That's the only thing that creeps into your head. I think for a split second, and then you say no. But
I mean, to me, this is a no-brainer trade if, in fact, it was ever a
with
real
the injury
one.
history he has had, which is stacking up. I think it's a no still, but I think you can talk yourself more into Lamar Jackson than any of the other big ones, if you will.
I just think if we're saying this would not be a trade that all, but especially this is not even like saying should the Vikings do it, which I think the answer would be yes there too. But at least they've had some success recently. The Las Vegas Raiders are in no position to be like, 3 or 4 years of him being a 2-time MVP award winner still, not good enough for us. We'll roll the dice with the unproven Fernando Mendoza. Come on.
Oh, the Raiders would say yeah. Of course.
That's what we're talking about.
Well, I thought you said would the Ravens do it, Cody. That's why you said would you not do it, and that's why I brought up.
No, I was saying where do I sign on the dotted line? I'd trade the first overall pick in a heartbeat for it, and Cody said really, and then Drew, then you chimed in and said the only thing though would be the injury history. That's why I may not do it, and that's what I was responding to.
It sounds like
if I was the Ravens, the only team that wouldn't do it is the Ravens because of the. But I think that the Ravens would consider doing it because of the reasons that Cody said about the 2 to 3 year injury, the 2 to 3 year stuff in the injury history.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you could talk yourself into actually doing it, but I don't think it would be smart.
Look, we can go back through, but if you go over I was about to say, if you go over the number 1 overall picks, there's plenty of failures in there.
Another one, again, this comes from Jeremy Fowler, but also with input from anonymous executive coaches and scouts. The next one, another big star, someone that I think would be intriguing in Kansas City as well if you could make the money work. Their prediction, the Eagles trade A.J. Brown to the Buffalo Bills, who currently don't have a head coach, but to the Buffalo Bills. The Eagles save $7 million on the cap by trading Brown after June 1. Other teams listed as fits according to NFL scouts, the Titans, the Browns, the Niners, and the Raiders. Fit, sure. I mean, A.J. Brown, I think, fits just about everywhere. But who's willing to bring in perhaps a bit of a headache and deal with the financial ramifications? A.J. Brown in Buffalo, I mean, if you're Josh Allen, that would be a dream for you.
I don't know. Honestly,
he's never had a receiver like that.
Of all the bold predictions,
really has.
This one doesn't seem all that far off, does it?
Yeah.
This doesn't seem crazy to me. A.J. Brown could be on the move, and similar to kind of how I feel about Kansas City, it does kind of feel like you got to do something to help and surround some more talent around him. He can't be thrown to Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman again this year. And instead, and look, I know James Cook's great, and they've had historically a very good offensive line during his run, but he kind of needs his dude again. When he had Stephon Diggs, that offense looked more like it understood what it was doing day to day. And so there's just a big part of that where I just think,
Would you be worried at all it turns into the same situation where Stephon's like, I need out, and they just clash heads? Because that was what happened. That's why Stephon was gone.
That's just wide receivers problem. That's why A.J. Brown would be available out of Philly.
Yeah, but
you're just talking about 3-4 year run, you know?
Yeah, I just think that he has the history of it, and Stephon, there's wide receivers that are very good that don't have a history of being as much of a public headache, I guess, if you will, as A.J. Brown or Stephon Diggs have been. I think you would do it if you're Buffalo, obviously, because you need to help him out.
Here's the thing.
You just got to know that
Patriots
might happen.
regret bringing in Stephon Diggs?
No, because they haven't had a problem.
But that's how it works. Star wide receivers who are a problem, they're fine for a few years. A.J. Brown didn't have any problems there for 3 years. That's just the way it works. You're willing to take on the risk because by the time, if they become a problem, they're not your problem anymore, you know? No, nobody's lasting that long.
Elsewhere, another one that's listed here, the Falcons just roll with Kirk Cousins as quarterback. That's their prediction here.
Man.
So we know that, you've got Penix there. You got a brand new head coach in Kevin Stefanski. I think we all kind of think Kirk Cousins is just going to get out of Atlanta. That would be pretty wild to think that Penix, who had an ACL injury in November, which it is his 5th surgery since college, so maybe you're worried just about that aspect of it. And the Penix pick has been a disaster. I think it's fair. But Cousins, wouldn't you want out after 2 years of uncertainty? I guess if they promised you the starting gig, that's one thing. But they could do the same thing. They could bench you in November again.
They could draft another guy, and you can't trust
this
them
one.
to say
I don't
you get
agree.
the job.
I guess this one I don't think. I mean, not that I believe Lamar's getting traded either, but the Falcons just rolling with Kirk Cousins. I mean, if you're Stefanski, what do you want at quarterback? Do you want to give Penix an opportunity? You go with Kirk Cousins, or do you try to convince the ownership or front office to go and find another guy?
I'd go find a different guy. I'm not doing Cousins or Penix, right? Like if you're Stefanski, like he's been running out.
Who are you getting though?
I mean, it's not the worst year for quarterback, is it? I mean, who's available?
You can go sign Malik Willis instead. I mean, at that point, I'll just keep Michael Penix.
Kyler Murray, you trade for him, but you're not going to. I don't think that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. Ugh. I mean, it's not Russell Wilson.
I mean, here's the issue with Cousins and why his contract includes $67.9 million in 2027, and it vests on March 13th. So they could cut him. He could re-sign at a different number. I guess I don't know the relationship between Stefanski and Kirk Cousins. If they both believe in each other, then maybe it happens. Here's another one. Thinking of Malik Willis from Jeremy Fowler, ESPN predictions based off of NFL executives. Malik Willis to the Dolphins or Browns is what they list. Totally could see him ending up in a spot to start next year.
Yeah, like Cleveland, who are like legitimately, they're not picking high enough to take any of the quarterbacks. They could give Malik Willis kind of like the old Sam Darnold, like, where the first couple of years I'm paying you, but I'm not really guaranteeing anything beyond that. Here's a big fat signing bonus. And if I got to get the hell out of this, I'll get the hell out of it.
Miami makes the most sense, though, because their new GM comes from Green Bay. Where was Malik Willis?
Green Bay.
So if anybody knows how they feel about a certain quarterback, it would be that. That's why the Dolphins, I'm guessing, are mentioned here and would make a lot of sense. The Browns do have the number 6 and 24 picks, so they do have picks to package something together if they wanted to not go the Malik Willis route, not believe in Shador, and they wanted to try to go acquire another quarterback or trade up or something. You know, they want Ty Simpson. He'll be there at 6 for them if they want him.
Sure, and teams do that. They make those bold moves, and outside of that, and look, Miami's not. I think Tua's going to start somewhere, but I think it'd be more like a place like Arizona or Cleveland. I don't think it's likely to be. I just don't. I don't know why it is. I don't think Stefanski, I think he's going to want something stable. Right?
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I want something stable.
Kirk Cousins staying there just would be surprising. While we're on the Falcons, this one could impact the Chiefs. I know you are interested in this player. I am not. Their prediction, Falcons just franchise tag Kyle Pitts. Not available for you.
Okay.
I could see that totally happening. He had a really nice season. The tag for a tight end's $15.9 million. It does feel like that would be a real possible path.
I mean, at this
Falcons.
point, why wouldn't they? Like,
make him prove that he can do it again before you give a contract.
Yeah, I mean, well, and he was a great player for you. If you're Stefanski, again, you want some stability. So Bijan, Pitts, Drake London, say, hey, give me a little bit of success chances here for whatever quarterback starts me this season. Let's see if we can get the ball rolling a little bit. Just buy me 1 year of Kyle Pitts. We'll solve the rest going down the road. Now, of course, I don't know what Atlanta's their cap situation is. But that's like some of these seem somewhat realistic to me.
So
they might be bold, but they seem realistic.
We can get into some other ones later on in the show. Those are just some predictions from executives and scouts to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. Before we get to the trash of the day, last night, Royals Hot Stove, Vern was hosting that here on 96.5 The Fan, and he had the general manager of the Royals, JJ Picollo, join him. They went over multiple topics, obviously, but the one I wanted to focus in on is what I think is clearly the key here in 2026. We can disagree with how they have gone about the outfield and whether or not you think they've done enough or not. But if this team is going to win a division title, there are two players that have to be a huge part of that. And the two names that JJ mentioned, even saying, hard to imagine wins maybe without Cags and Carter Jensen get going.
And then you have the upside of Caglin and Jensen. And if those two players are able to do what we believe they're capable of doing, and what I mean by that, not necessarily, they don't have to hit 30 to 40 home runs. We don't need that. We just need consistent at-bats out of them. And if you look up and they're able to force themselves into lineup on pretty much an every night basis, that means their numbers are going to be good at the end of the year. So it's a lot to ask of young players to carry the team, but in this case, they don't need to carry the team. They just need to be part of the team and help our lineup function and get deeper and make it a lot harder on our opposition to get through our 9 3 or 4 times a night. And they're certainly capable of doing it.
The part about what they're asking them to be, we know when Cags was called up and the situation at the time where the offense was at, and like he was viewed, and we said it as well as like, hey, can he save this offense basically last year? This year, you have the experience you had last year. You go into spring training, you go into the beginning of this year, and nobody to start this year is expecting you to carry the offense or save the offense. That goes for Carter Jensen as well. I do think there's less pressure on the team. Now, Cags has pressure because he's a top pick and last year did not go well, but it's different than, I don't think even the most confident Cags supporter, and we certainly are some of them on this show.
I would say so.
I don't think any of us are expecting him to suddenly be a 35 home run guy and hit 270 and turn into an all-star, anytime soon.
If he does that, then they have an incredibly dangerous offense.
Well, yeah.
But because of where they improved the lineup, and because I think of the emergence of Michael Garcia last year, he could be hitting like 7th. And you need a whole hell of a lot less out of a 7th hitter than when he first came up and Caglione, and I know Vernon was trying to fight this and they were trying to say, like, don't turn it into that. But let's just face reality. By the time Caglione got called up, he was looked to be please save our offense. Please, Cags. We can't hit any homers. We need you to do it. We have no outfield ability at all. Want to help us? But it is still kind of gearing up for, if they're going to have a better than league average offense, it still requires Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione to be good. It just does. They have to combined be at least league average major league hitters. That's it. Like between the home runs, the on-base percentage, the OPS. Like, I'm not asking the world. I'm asking you to be a league average hitter. And still not crazy for the kind of prospect and prospects both those guys are. I did see an interview Carter Jensen did like a podcast interview. He was talking about Caglione hitting a ball when they were in the minor leagues 123 miles an hour the opposite way. He said I was gearing up to go first to third, and I had to hold it second. I didn't understand what happened, why the ball got in so fast. It's because the ball was hit so hard off the outfield wall. He's like, I've just never seen anybody hit the ball that hard. I'm like, yes, I just need Caglione to make contact more.
Consistently.
The ball will go. No one's worried about how far the ball will go when Jack Caglione hits it. His problem was pitch selection, strikeout, inconsistency.
Chase rate, all of that.
All of those things. Yeah, chase rate.
Next week, JJ Bacola will join us on the show on Tuesday as well. So we'll dive into that a little bit more. And, of course, look ahead to spring training, which is right around the corner. All right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
I did not know this was going on until yesterday. But tonight, do you know what's on Netflix?
No.
It's not a Jake Paul fight or something.
I was trying to think. I was like, I don't remember a Jake Paul fight.
It's not a fight. Nope.
I didn't watch the last one other than I saw the highlight of his jaw.
Have you guys ever in the past watched like the Nick Walinda across Niagara Falls or the Grand Canyon? Or back in the day, David Blaine, frozen alive inside a block of ice or whatever it was. That kind of stuff. So Alex Honnold is going to climb the Taipei 101 skyscraper tonight live on Netflix without any ropes. Now, there is a 10-second delay. The skyscraper is 1,667 feet tall, and he will be live on Netflix this evening.
Is it weird to watch something just hoping?
That's why
hoping. That seems too harsh.
No, it's like the Gladiator stuff.
Waiting to see if they're going to fall?
No, that's why people watch. It's the Gladiator type. Like, why was
so does
that
he have safety harnesses?
No ropes.
No ropes?
Nope.
Is there anything to catch him?
That I do not know.
Because if there's something to catch him, immediately not interested. Also,
the hardest part will be 64 floors in the middle, which resemble bamboo boxes. Each box is 8 stories high. Each one tapers outward, creating a challenging overhang for him to navigate. Once he does that, he'll be able to rest on a balcony before heading to the next box. The overhang, 10 or 15 degrees. Safety measures, he'll be able to communicate with the production staff throughout the whole event. Plus, there will be cameramen positioned inside the building, various hatches and places to bail during the climb if needed, and 4 high-angle camera operators. The camera operators will be suspended on ropes. So there's people around him if something really happened that could potentially happen.
But also, like, I got to be honest, though. If you put all these safety measures in place, that's not the point. Why am I interested? If you can't,
well,
I'm just
Netflix
saying,
is not going to broadcast literally someone dying.
I
so.
don't want them to die, but I'm saying if they can't die, well, then it's not interesting.
Then don't watch.
That's just like I can watch Gold ride the Mamba. Like, I'm fine.
I will, with stuff like this, I'll watch for 5 minutes because I'm intrigued by the novelty of it. And then after 5 minutes, it gets kind of boring because he'll be mic'd up and they'll be like, "How you doing?" He'll be like, "I'm doing well." And he's locked in, and then there's no they're just repeating themselves over and over. Then they're interviewing his wife in the middle of it as well. Like, "Are you nervous that your husband might die tonight?" And it's stuff like that, and it's repeat over and over. And so 5 or 10 minutes they got me. I don't know if it's going to last an hour or whatever. It is on a 10-second delay. No ropes, harnesses, or safety nets though.
Okay. Well, I mean, at least
he's getting paid in the mid-6 figures for doing this.
How did he convince them to pay him 6 figures to do this?
Yeah, he's got a kid as well. I mean, my goodness.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's fine, I guess. I'd rather just watch a show.
He's already climbed some building in Phoenix. He's also climbed the north face of Half Dome in Yosemite, Moonlight in Zion, and Synthetic Happiness in Red Rock.
I don't mean to sound cruel.
It's at 7 o'clock tonight, if you're wondering.
I will say,
on Netflix. 2-hour event.
If he died doing it, I just want to make it clear, I will not feel bad for him at all. He's made his choice. This is like way worse than like the people that I was talking about with Everest. If you lose your foot climbing it, no one made you climb up Mount Everest. No one's making you walk across the Grand Canyon. All right, so
well, no, he's doing it for money and for the thrill. These are what these guys do.
You die, I won't feel bad for you. That's all.
Oh, yeah, nobody's saying that you have to.
Great.
He's also going to do it successfully. Spoiler: he will not have a problem doing it tonight.
It's true.
It's not some random guy. It's not you and I just randomly trying to do. Now that would be television.
Pay me a lot more
that would be live television.
6 figures.
Have 2 random people try to do it. Then we're talking. Then I'm locked in for 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair, I guess, but. I don't know, man. 2 hours? It's also just too long.
I agree.
Like, I don't want to watch somebody cross this for 2 consecutive hours.
Would you have to pause it in the middle of watching it and come back tomorrow night and finish it?
Yeah, maybe. I'd almost rather watch a movie, Like, I'm giving up 2 hours of my night just to watch a guy walk across the thing.
I might check in for like 5 or 10 minutes, as I said.
A lot of people mentioning the Free Solo documentary. If you haven't seen that, you should watch it.
He's really in that, right?
I haven't seen that either.
Is that him?
Yeah, he climbs Free Solo. He climbs solo, essentially, which is like the no
Yosemite.
ropes. No, like, there's nothing. There's no protection at all whatsoever, and he climbs the entire thing. It's
and he obviously is. But like Cody's point, why do
incredible.
I need to watch that if I know he lived? Cody's like, why do I need to watch?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of like knowing he went through the poster in Shawshank Redemption.
You just get an idea for how ridiculous it is what he's doing, and he's actually he's incredible at it.
I haven't watched it, so I don't know if it would do this. I've been on like some extreme heights. I felt that adrenaline rush or whatever. Like, am I going to get an adrenaline rush watching somebody else climb something on TV?
I don't know. This is the best. He's the best in the world at this, though.
Yeah, clearly.
Like, he is at the top of his game.
Yeah, maybe you'll be tuning in for 5 minutes tonight.
There you go. That is
not much on tonight,
the trash of the day. Someone was asking, did I watch Sinners? We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. As I said, with the Oscar nominations, I wanted to watch some of these Best Picture nominees. I hadn't seen any of them. And I said last night was a perfect night. I did. I knocked one of them off the list. So I'll report back.
9 more to go.
A little bit later on in the show.
How many nominees this year?
I don't know.
Because it can be up to 10
I will say, like, Sinners, I loved it. I really did.
Okay, we'll break it down.
Not what I fully expected, but we'll get into it more later without spoiling it
or
for
we'll
everybody.
at least warn you so you don't listen to
one
the
of the
segment,
two. Yeah, there you go. All right, up next, we'll get to the Chiefs Red half hour and where ESPN has some of the most valuable players in the NFL and back into the wide receiver conversation and some of the names that are thrown around, including a new name next for the Chiefs.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
We all know we're about to have a winter storm come through the area, maybe differing opinions on exactly how much snow, but you feel a lot more comfortable if you're driving an all-wheel drive vehicle like I am right now, thanks to Shawnee Mission Ford. Whether it's the Ford F-150 or I'm going into the dealership after the show today, actually, to swap out the F-150 for another vehicle that will be all-wheel drive. You know how much of a pain it is if you got to get somewhere in this kind of weather and you're not trusting your vehicle, and simply if your vehicle's not equipped. if you've got an older vehicle that's not all-wheel drive, Shawnee Mission Ford can take care of you, whether it's for this kind of weather or any other weather as we get into other parts of the year as well. And they're going to give you the top trade-in allowances. So if you've got that vehicle and you're looking to trade it in, there's no other place to go than Shawnee Mission Ford with the top trade-in allowances. They're going to be able to take care of you from start to finish, the mobile service that they offer as well. So down the road, when it's time for that oil change and you just don't have enough time to actually schedule that appointment and to go into the dealership, well, they'll come to your office. They'll show up at your house as well to change the oil on that vehicle. Shawnee Mission Ford has always been on a mission to do more, and that hasn't changed here in 2026. You can also check out my social media if you want to see some of the videos I've been doing on the vehicle I'm driving right now, thanks to Shawnee Mission Ford.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
At Casey's, when someone asked for a cup of coffee that wouldn't put them in debt, but still had freshly ground beans, rich flavor, and a price that starts with a 9 and ends with a D9 cents, we were too nice to say no. Now get a small coffee, just 99 cents. Limited time only. See store for details.
Dane and Hughes here, and it's playoff time, and there's no better place to bet the chase for the championship than Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be. Whether you're betting championship or conference futures, sides, totals, or prop bets for every round, there's no better place to make your bets throughout January all the way to the big game. Circa Sports, with high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour here on Cody and Gold. Reminder coming up in an hour and a half from now. It is a Fan Club Friday.
Right.
Thanks to Jay Rieger and Co. We'll have Russ Mondry from Centric joining us in studio. Been trying to have him on for a while, and we're excited to have him. We'll talk a little college hoops this weekend. We'll talk championship weekend in the NFL. We'll discuss a little bit more about something Cody and I are going to be at that everybody's invited to as well, which is the Tech Summit next Wednesday out at Centric. We'll be hanging out there. They'll have a Q&A panel. If you've heard us talk about Centric ever, about the facility and you're just curious about perhaps a new path forward, or honestly, if you just want to come by and say hello, that works as well. We'll be hanging out. Also, some other members from Odyssey, Kansas City. I think Ginny Matthews from The Wolf will be there, and I think Slimfast as well. From The Rock, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure if
he was on the email.
So.
He was on the email.
He was on the email.
Yeah.
We're making some assumptions.
Yeah.
You know, Ginny shared the post, so I know for sure, or at least I'm pretty sure that she'll be there as well. But we'll be there. A lot of times, just like, do you want to know more about the program and just find some stuff out in a pretty low stakes environment?
And the first person that goes up to Cody, he's offered to sing you a song too.
I don't remember doing that. I will say it's not as bad as many of my other takes. There is not a single person on the planet that would give number 9 overall pick for Brian Thomas. So clearly too high of a price.
We will get to some wide receivers and some options there. You know, Tyreek Hill clearly wants back. Brandon Ayuk might be available. Cody is suggesting a hypothetical Brian Thomas trade. We'll get into all that again here in just a couple.
I guess for number 40 overall, because I better drop the whole 9 thing.
Yeah, I think there's a difference, first round pick versus second round pick.
There is.
Big difference. Anyway.
I think it's crazy like how much 12 months changes your opinion on a player.
Sure. Unless it's pick 30 and then pick 34, and then it might as well be
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
So the MVP candidates, we know this year it's down to Drake May and Matthew Stafford. I know there's 4 finalists, but it's Drake May or Matthew Stafford. The voting already happened. We'll find out during NFL Honors the night before, the week of.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl, I think Stafford will likely win it, but we'll see. Drake May is going to certainly get some first place votes for that award. And so you probably aren't surprised when ESPN went through and put together the top 100 ranked. They didn't say players. They said real NFL MVP candidates. So it's a little bit different than like the top 100, one that's done by players, but also they're not just saying the 100 best players per
They're
se,
saying the 100
most valuable.
Most valuable players to their teams this season.
And it's for 1 year. And so I get it. It is still funny though, like, if we're still simplifying the most valuable part of it, who goes to the top of the list? Number 1, they have Drake May. Okay, that's fine. Drake May might win MVP this year. He was extremely valuable to that football team.
He was.
What I don't get, and I'm actually usually a Dak Prescott defender, he's 2 and Stafford's 3. Someone's going to have to explain that one to me a little bit.
I think it's because
would Jimmy Garoppolo have taken the Rams at this point? Drake,
I think if you took Dak Prescott off I think the part is
they go from 8 wins to 6.
I think to like 3. I think that team sucked. Other than Pickens and Lamb and Prescott, there was no other redeeming quality of the entire Cowboys roster this year.
Yeah,
and I think that might be why. That might be why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with it, but that might be why.
And look, I think Dak gets hated on way too much. I think he definitively is a top 10 quarterback in this league, and I think people trash him because he's on the Cowboys. I think if he was on a different franchise, people would like him more. I don't know why he gets a lot of hate. But anyway, they said Prescott's been absent from the MVP conversation, but I strongly believe that is a mistake. Dallas was 7-9-1. Are we truly incapable of considering the team sport element of football when voting for awards? With the quarterback for NFC's number 5 seed Stafford potentially winning MVP this season, we sometimes draw a distinction between team and player. And it goes through some of the numbers where Dak was 5th in QBR. He added in metrics 46 points above average, second only to May and Stafford. So Dak actually did have a phenomenal year. So he was 2, Stafford's 3. Josh Allen still came in at 4. And I think that despite what happened in the playoffs, I agree with Allen being 4 on this list for this year's team. He played in every game. His roster, we all have clearly acknowledged by now, is maybe one of the worst ones he's had around him. So him being 4, 1 spot in front of Jordan Love. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. Although I would argue that maybe Micah Parsons was more important to the Packers than Jordan Love. Quarterback is just a more important position.
Yeah, it's the first 10 on this list, if not more.
Quarterback.
The first 7 are all quarterbacks.
Until you get to Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yes.
And Puka Nacua, who are really hard ones to argue, right?
Yeah, and 6 was Mahomes, if you were wondering. Like, hey, is he on the list at all? They still had him at 6. He didn't play in all the games this year, so you get knocked for that. I have no problem with him being number 6 on this year's, how they phrased it, top 100 NFL MVP list.
So I think what stood out to me is, like, as I went through this list, it goes back to this same problem the Chiefs have, which is the lack of pillars. And they hate running backs, for what it's worth. I think Christian McCaffrey's the first one on the list, and he's at 69 on this list. So he is.
Jeez.
Derrick Henry was on, or not Derrick Henry.
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor was on it, but he was like in the 90s, barely made the list.
Which is nuts.
The other Chiefs players are Chris Jones at number 25. And again, like it or not, Chris Jones is a vital player and an important player too. Creed Humphrey at 48. So Bijan was the first guy on the list at running back.
We love Creed. Hashtag Creed is good.
He's the 48th most important player in football this year?
That's what. So look, he is the best center in football right now.
I have an outstanding bet of him as protector of the year.
Yeah, that's not going to cash.
How do you know?
It's not going to cash. We said that to you at the time. We could have saved you money. Drew and I tried to tell you at the very beginning of the season.
I will not be denied.
No way it's going to a center.
I forgot that you did that. Actually,
it's on the ticket.
You can rip that ticket up. Unbelievable center, obviously, friend of the show and all that. I truly don't know how he's higher on this than McCaffrey or Jonathan Taylor. I'm sorry.
Creed Humphrey, by the way, currently, based on, they don't have the odds out because some of the voting's already taken place. But the current favorite, he is 7th behind Penei Sewell, Lane Johnson, Trent Williams, tackle, Mailata, tackle, alt, tackle, Tooney, guard, and then Creed Humphrey.
Yeah, I just disagree with that.
Alt didn't even play the whole year. I'm surprised
That's a recent one. That's an article.
Chris Jones still being 25th, I think, would surprise some Chiefs fans. The narrative around him this year, right? He didn't have as good of a season. He clearly flips a switch when he wants to, that kind of stuff. He finished 8th, though, still among interior linemen and all-pro voting. And it was disappointing for the team and for him. And he still had the best pass rush win rate at D tackle in football this year.
I know.
7 sacks, 10.5 sacks created, if you want to get into deeper metrics. I know that people roll their eyes sometimes at that one, but that's just what some of the metrics say. Chris Jones still being in the top 25 or so is pretty impressive on that.
No, I think it speaks to they do still have one elite pass rusher. Their issue is not that they had 0 pass rush. It's that it came from one dude. There wasn't a single other guy on their defensive line on this list. Hell, they had McDuffie. It's just the 4 people you know. They didn't have a single, and this goes back to the Nagy and all this other stuff. Their issue lately has either been, and this depends on how you look at it, the coaching staff has not developed a player, or the GM has not given them a player that can develop. I heard actually Bob this morning talking about wide receiver, and I think it's a more than fair point, which is if this year Eric Bieniemy comes in and the wide receivers get better, Rashee Rice takes a step forward, Xavier Worthy takes a step forward, then it will look more like it's Andy Reid's fault for not having a coach in place who can actually work with a damn wide receiver. Like, Andy, what the hell were you doing? Why was Embry employed all this time? Now, if they don't develop, and they got a guy who's been around the league for 20 damn years, well, then the GM whiffed.
For sure.
And he took wide receivers who weren't good enough, and he's going to have to go back into the market and find a different guy. This season and the way they changed their coaching staff is going to be very telling on where they are and in that development game. And like when I look at these top 100 most valuable players from this season, I kind of hate that the Chiefs don't have a safety even worth mentioning or a edge guy even worth mentioning, or even if they don't like running backs, a running back or a wide receiver, a skill position player. Like if you're the Chiefs and you have Patrick Mahomes, a wide receiver damn sure better be on this list most years. And unfortunately, they're not wrong. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, all those guys. Travis Kelce, maybe you can make an argument for, because I do think what would their offense have been if Travis Kelce didn't have a bounce back year like he did? So much worse. And so maybe you can make an argument there, but he's still a tight end at age 36. How much can he push the envelope forward? You just kind of get stuck in that range,
Thinking of wide receivers, there are a couple that are going to be available in some form or fashion in free agency, let alone the draft. And starting with Tyreek Hill, he clearly is making it so known on social media without flat out tweeting, I want to be in Kansas City, that he wants to be in Kansas City. And he is under contract still, but we all know with the new regime there, with the devastating knee injury he had and the dollar amount attached to his name, he is going to get cut by the Miami Dolphins. And by the time we get to the first week or so of free agency, perhaps, he could have a new home. And I'm sure other teams will have some interest. The question will be when you work him out, does he still have the burst post-injury? Where's he at in his recovery from that? All of it. What kind of contract is he looking for? I don't think he's going to require a big number, but also he's not signing a 1 year for $4 million deal either. There's the balance. So what does that number look like? So he wants back here. Does Patrick Mahomes want him back? Do the Chiefs want him back? And do you, the fan, want him back? Because I get the sense, and
there's a lot of fans
social media is not everything, and it's a small fraction of reality. I get it. But on social media, I will say from Chiefs Twitter, whatever that is, they want him back.
Yep.
Does Patrick Mahomes want him back after some of the comments that he made publicly? Was that just him for his podcast, or did Mahomes actually get ticked off by him saying Tua's a better deep passer?
Or being a better friend with Travis
and
Kelce.
all that kind of stuff? Do the Chiefs want to go down that road again? And they have Nobody probably thought Kareem Hunt was ever coming back, and we all know he came back and helped this team win a lot of games last year.
I don't know how to break this to Chiefs fans. And we'll take your answers, 913-586-7965, on whether or not you would want Tyreek Hill back. This has the most, we broke up 4 years ago and you forgot all the fights energy. I'm sorry. This is like going in the Wayback Machine and you've like somehow have this like idyllic version of what your high school relationship was like. And you're like, oh man, we just love being with each other and spending time together. And it was the best. And you were the star high school quarterback and you're having the best times of your life. The offense was at its best. That was as good as it's ever been. And you just remember this idyllic version of what it was and not what it would be. What it would be is I'm not interested. I would like to get younger at some positions, including wide receiver, and I want some long-term stability at that position.
I'm just not interested.
He's also coming off a devastating injury, and like he is a fast player who did utilize his speed. I'm not saying he can't run a route. He obviously could. There's just so many things that are off-putting about it to me that I'm just not interested in any way. And look, this list by Bill Barnwell puts all kinds of guys on the list as potential guys who could be traded and could be available this offseason. The trade guys are obvious, right? A.J. Brown and Ayuk, who he lists as both a trade and a cut candidate, or Mike Evans and Jawan Jennings. We know the names by now. There are plenty of wide receivers available. If they want to upgrade wide receiver in free agency or via a trade, they can do that. I would just take a different swing. Look, I'm not going to mention the compensation anymore, but like if you, let's say you had to trade for Tyreek Hill. If he's cut, it's different. It is cheaper. But if I got to trade for a wide receiver, and on this list, a trade candidate is Brian Thomas Jr., I'd be more interested in that. Or A.J. Brown even, who Diana Rossini said she wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs would be interested in.
It would have to be, again, I don't think he's not signing a vet minimum because I think he'll get more than that somewhere.
I think it'd have to be a cheap deal.
It would have to be one for like $6.5 million with incentives. And I don't know if he's willing to sign a deal like that. But it's one of those, like, if you want to be back with Patrick Mahomes, that would be something maybe that you can make work. I wonder if you bring back Tyreek Hill, would you guys be worried at all that would hurt what we've discussed, which is how big of a year it is for Worthy in year 3, that some of the things you would want Worthy to be doing, that you would just have Tyreek Hill running some of those same routes.
Yeah.
You would have to discuss that role with Tyreek. I feel like, Cody, hey, you're not what you were with us, 5-6 years ago. You're not getting the same target share. You're not where the offense is not running through you.
But I mean, if you sign Tyreek Hill, shouldn't it be running it through him?
No, not at this point in his career. That's a problem. If you're signing him because your offense is running through Tyreek Hill in the year 2026, you got a big problem on offense again.
That's why I don't want him at all. I'm only looking to sign or trade for wide receivers who the offense could run through. And if you're telling me that he's not, I mean, I guess not in every case. But if I'm paying the guy, if I'm paying Tyreek Hill money, I guess that's the case. He's getting ready to be, 32 years old, coming off a devastating injury? He is 3 years removed from elite level Tyreek Hill. Those 2 years in Miami, the first 2 years in Miami, when he caught 1,700 yards and almost 1,800 yards and led the NFL in receiving and in touchdowns. And look, 2 years is a long time in the NFL. You can certainly, and Tua got way worse. So do I think Tyreek Hill still has some juice? I do. I really do. I think Tyreek Hill still has some juice. It's just not the move I'd make at this stage. They need
What about Brandon Ayuk?
They need to reconfigure. He's the kind of
quit
player
on his team.
Yeah, that's not great.
He quit on his team.
But I think he's going to be available for nothing. Peanuts. I think he's going to get cut, and then he's going to be available for a small, like a 1 for 10. I think he's going to be available for Hollywood Brown money for the reason you mentioned. He quit.
Yeah.
For that price, yes.
He right now, there's a chance he gets traded, but the contract to me is insane. Post-June 1 cut is most likely for Brandon Ayuk. If it's a trade, then the Chiefs are not in play at all. I think that would be insane. You think Brandon Ayuk's only getting 1 for 10? Some team out there is going to give him 2 years. It's not going to be anywhere near the contract that he just got. He cost himself millions and millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. But I don't think Brandon Ayuk is signing 1 for 10, Cody. There will be some team out there that says, we'll figure it out with him. We'll talk to his agent. Yeah, we'll get this thing figured out and all of that. You know how that goes. Or the player has a wake-up call. Teams take second chances all the time. We're talking about Tyreek Hill, for crying out loud. We've seen Kareem Hunt come back to Kansas City. So, yes, as bad as it is to quit.
Ran his way out of Buffalo.
As bad as it is to quit,
whatever.
You find out, does Brandon Ayuk want to play football still?
Yeah.
You have to have it. You have to have a conversation with him and his representation. Does he actually? And you have guarantees in the contract that protect you as much as it protects him.
And it's just like anything else. I would ask the normal questions. Why did you not answer their calls? Why did you quit on this team? Why did you not show up for them? Like, I mean, you can ask all those things. But if you're, it's tough because I just told you 2 years is a long time in the NFL, right? So things change and players aren't the same. I can't tell you how many wide receivers who were 1,000-yard guys and look to be the goods. A couple years later, never ended up being the same. He has only 1 year NFL, 2023, same thing. He had 1,300 yards. So it's the same as Tyreek in the sense that he was coming off of 2 massive seasons in San Francisco. Then he got hurt midway through 2024. That's the same year Tyreek was okay. He had like 900 yards receiving in Miami. And then he never came back. So, does he still want to play? But he's 5 full years younger than Tyreek Hill. So, if I get it right, Gold, I'm interested. And look, I'm not saying I'd give up the world because I wouldn't. Yeah. I'd give up very little compensation. I just feel like they got a lot of choices. Alec Pierce and some other guys are going to be really intriguing too, but the price tag's really high in these free agent guys, and so I just don't know if they're going to want to spend it.
Alec Pierce might get the biggest contract on the free agent market out of wide receiver this year. I mean, the Bill Barnwell projection is $65 million guaranteed, and it's kind of the going rate. I just don't know. It's not even about Alec Pierce. It's not even about Jawan Jennings is another name somebody mentioned on the text line who had a nice year with the 49ers that could be intriguing. I don't know if this is the offseason in which the Chiefs are in the let's spend a lot of money on a wide receiver. I'm not saying they don't need a wide receiver.
They think they kind of need that big guy from Mahomes, the guy the offense runs through. We all gonna be right.
We all agree they need some. We need somebody that can win in man coverage. But defensive line issues, running back needs to be addressed. What are you going to do? Is Travis Kelce coming back or not? What's that contract look like? The draft, you're picking 9th, you're picking 40th. Do you believe free agency is your best path for helping wide receiver, or do you think the draft is? If they want to draft a wide receiver at 9, then that obviously eliminates them probably from spending big-time money. They have Rashee Rice for 1 more year, we all think, and that's it. Worthy for 2 max, unless if he figures it out, then maybe he's a guy that eventually you can extend. Right now, he's not in line for that.
Alec Pierce figured it out, right? He had the almost identical, actually slightly worse, 2-year run as Xavier Worthy. So, guys can't get better in year 3. That's our whole thing. I'm not willing to call Worthy a bust yet because I still think it could happen for him. I just don't know if it will or not, and I'm less confident that it will now based on the first 2 seasons.
You brought up Brian Thomas in Jacksonville, who had a great rookie year. This year was disappointing. Yeah. While you watch Trevor Lawrence have a career year, the Jags win the division. Parker Washington comes out of nowhere. They trade for Jacoby Myers. They already give him an extension.
They draft Travis Hunter.
And they draft Travis Hunter, who got hurt, of course, and barely played this year. Brian Thomas, interested, of course. 1, I don't know if the Jags would really trade him. 2, the compensation that some suggested and you brought up, you're willing to do it. I wouldn't. The 9th overall pick is too rich for me.
Look, I can be convinced in the sense that I have not found, and this is rare for any kind of take on radio or anything. Drew found people who would trade Andy Reid. So there is not, and I'm dead serious, there is not a single person who seemingly would even entertain the possibility of giving up the 9th overall pick for Brian Thomas. I'm
sure there's someone out there. 913-586-7965.
If you can find him, let me know.
I just think that's way too much of this first round pick. Maybe not. If they were picking 28th,
it's an overpay.
Then
I'm not denying that. It's an overpay. I don't think there's any denying that. But I also think it's just being short-sighted. This year, a year ago, we were talking about Brian Thomas amongst the elite NFL wide receivers in the entire league. Mm-hmm. So, look, and if now we're getting anywhere down to 40, I'm an instant yes. I just want to be clear there. For their 2nd round pick, I'm an instant yes. I would trade it for any other next year's first. I could probably get talked into. Maybe 9's an overpay and it's not worthy of it. Fine, that's fine. I can accept that part of it. But Brian Thomas, to me, is the exact type of wide receiver you should be trading for. If you are making a big swing at wide receiver this year, you're going to pay someone a lot of money, or you're going to take a big chance, or you're going to offer up. Drew, I don't know, it's not a very good wide receiver class. I can assure you, you're not getting anyone with the upside of Brian Thomas Jr. at pick 41. No chance.
Yeah, definitely.
So, that one's an
41. I'm good at 41. Yeah.
No, I know.
I would agree with that.
He's just the kind of when I look at Stafford and stuff, I kind of feel or what they did for Jalen Hurts in Philly, just same as I said as Buffalo, unless they still think that untapped Rashee Rice is getting unlocked here soon. I like the idea of a big play, but that's also why I would entertain wide receiver at 9 too. If Cardell Tate or Jordan Tyson or some of these other guys are available, defensive line is their number 1 need by far. But if the right wide receiver who they think is Patrick Mahomes' number one wide receiver for the next decade, I'm entertaining it there. That's all.
The only thing that's given me hope that Rashee Rice can actually still have a pretty big season next year is that it is a contract year for him. Yeah. And it's everything. We all know the off-the-field stuff, financial implications that he's dealing with still there. I would not give him an extension at this point. I don't know who would. But you're going to get a very motivated Rashee Rice because his entire future earnings are predicated on him having a great season, fully healthy, staying out of trouble. I think next year will be his best year as an NFL wide receiver.
I think given the need, though, it's interesting because we've talked about wide receivers there. I think I would be more tempted to, if you feel like you need a wide receiver, I would rather probably pay somebody in free agency and use
your high draft pick
and use 9
else,
and 40 on the things most, and then maybe you take another wide receiver in the 4th round or whatever the case is.
Totally how I feel running back.
But I think it's the same. Because, you could say, hey, we'll go ahead and we'll draft Tyson or Mekhi Lemon or Carnell Tate at 9, and then you spend money in free agency on defensive line. I don't know how the players compare in the markets, but I think I would rather have a guy like Peter Woods or Caleb Downs at 9 or Ruben Ban or whoever's there and then pay a wide receiver than the latter.
And someone brings up
a
good point too. Do the Chiefs find out any information, Drew? Do we get to by whether it's drafted end of April or later in the offseason? Is there ever going to be a suspension for the Instagram post that was deleted that
went away so fast?
So fast, and if nobody's willing to talk and there's no police report, then I don't know really how the NFL could suspend them. But if you found out that was happening, that would change your thought process maybe on the position. I don't think he's getting suspended next year. Based on what
I think it went away too quick.
What?
Unless she's going to testify in front of an NFL committee hearing, which happens sometimes, which she's probably not going to.
Don't get the sense that's happening, and I also believe
I think.
Who knows exactly what was at play with that entire situation? None of us know exactly what
All
transpired.
I'm saying is that Rice got to stay out of the news no matter what.
Yeah,
I don't care
absolutely.
if it's up for 48 hours in the news or up for months in the news. Rice has got to keep his nose clean,
It's
which
a long
he's been
off season.
pretty bad at.
It's a long off season for him.
Yeah. Like I told you, man, just put on the Great British Bake Off and sit around. Do nothing.
Suggest that show for some reason.
It's like a very calm
How much baking
show.
are you doing this weekend?
I got to do tiling this week.
And for those new to the show, we're talking about actually baking. Cody's not smoking a bunch of weed. He's literally going to bake muffins all weekend.
So because I got to tile my backsplash.
That's right. That's right.
I'm going to be trapped inside, so I might as well finish that.
And Drew's helping you.
But he won't. He won't accept my fatherly advice.
I appreciate the invitation.
Now the weather's bad, so it really doesn't make sense for him to make the drive, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be a haul for him to get to your place.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be worth it now, Drew. But before.
Thinking of trouble,
like
did you guys see that? Drew, are you a Trey Songz fan?
Yeah, there's some Trey Songz. Yeah, Trey Songz I haven't heard his name in a long time.
I haven't heard his name since he got arrested at Arrowhead.
Well, that's the thing. So I don't think Drew wasn't with us yet because this is all the way back in 2021.
Oh, okay.
So Trey Songz back in 2021 was arrested at Arrowhead. He was in the crowd watching the AFC title game. And at that time, he was arrested, and he was, handcuffed and charged with trespassing and resisting arrest and assaulting a police officer. And then all the charges were later dismissed. I have no other details on what transpired.
Okay.
But now Trey Songz, his real name is what? Tremaine Neverson. Okay, but it's Trey Songz. All right. He is suing the Kansas City Police Department now. He alleges negligence on their part, excessive force, false arrest, and failure to provide proper security. He claims he suffered physical injuries, emotional distress, damage to his professional reputation, and financial losses as a result of the incident. He says that they did not properly protect him at the game. Fans were heckling and harassing him due to his celebrity status, and that security and police were called to the area but failed to protect him from unruly, aggressive, and intoxicated attendees.
I got to say, the fact that they dropped all the charges and assaulted a police officer, I don't think they do that without some... I don't think they do that lightly, right? I don't think they just drop charges like that all the time.
Not sure the
Maybe Trey
likelihood.
Songz is onto something.
I don't know how strong the case is or what. No idea, but just
Feels
hadn't
a little
heard.
late in the game.
Hadn't heard.
5 years later? 5 years later, he's dropping a lawsuit on this?
Who knows? Evident. I have no idea what takes so long. Is he still coming out with new stuff, Drew, or does he need money?
I don't know. He might be coming out with new music.
Someone says he sings Drew's favorite song, Neighbors Know My Name.
I know that song.
All right. Up next, we'll get to what's trending, then talk a little bit more about championship weekend, focus a little bit more on the Patriots and Broncos matchup, and we'll get also the latest on the coaching front, including Phillip Rivers interviewing for the Buffalo Bills head coaching job today.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Football playoffs this weekend, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the football action. That's because you can make entries and win money right now on the Missouri side. All you got to do is download the app, choose which players will go higher or lower than your favorite stats, touchdowns, receptions, and more. For instance, Stidham, I like him to go lower than 197.5 passing yards. I think they'll try to slow that thing down. Get all your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So many different ways to play. Ladders and drafts and streaks, pick'ems and champions, and even deal reveals where you select a player at a 9 offered, get a discount applied, and the discount amount is randomized and varies between uses. With all those options, what are you waiting for? Download the app today. Use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing-good-terms_DFS _.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down. 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus comes out swinging. Highlight machine Justin Gaethje collides with Paddy the Baddy Pimblett in a must-see high-octane main event. Plus, Sean Sugar O'Malley faces off against Song Yadong in a stand-up war filled with high-level striking. Pay-per-view just got knocked out. Stream UFC 324 live on January 24th, only on Paramount Plus. Visit ParamountPlus.com/UFC to get started.
Pro Savings Days are on at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get an additional 5% off when you buy 5 or more select GE, Whirlpool, and Electrolux kitchen or laundry major appliances. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 123. Discount valid to My Lowe's Pro Rewards members only. Exclusions and other restrictions apply. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for details. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Hey Royals fans, it's Vern and the Hot Stove Show is back Thursday night starting at 6 o'clock right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on what's trending, it is championship weekend in the NFL. We got to wait till Sunday afternoon to get to the AFC and NFC title games. First up, AFC, 2 o'clock kickoff. New England, a 4.5-point favorite on the road in Denver. We all know it'll be Jarrett Stidham as the starting quarterback with Bo Nix out for the season. The total for the game sitting at 42.5. And then the late one, find out who will be taking on the winner of that one, will be the Rams at the Seahawks, a divisional battle. Sam Darnold against Matthew Stafford. The Seahawks coming off a dominant win against the 49ers. They are 2.5-point favorites. The total for that game at 46.5. And then after that, man, we got a week off, and then it's the Super Bowl in Santa Clara. So we're about done with weekends of football action until next August.
We'll be talking spring training here.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that, but man, it'll be weird not having football on the weekends.
You think those players are worried that they're going to Santa Clara?
Not for one trip. Not for one game. But I don't think the electrical substation will be bad for one game, but long period of time, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Next up on what's trending, local college hoops this week in Kansas and Kansas State. Currently slated for 7 o'clock. I'm kind of curious if maybe they'll move that game up. We'll see. Missouri versus Oklahoma tomorrow at 1 for the locals. Also, the UMKC men's head basketball coach opening is officially done. And my wife look over the resume. Help me look over the cover letter. I'm officially applied to be the head coach of UMKC.
You probably brought that up. She said, yes, please, go ahead and get that job.
Making a mockery of your university. A mockery of your university.
They haven't ever been to the tournament. I can't mock them. It's impossible. I'm offering. I care about the basketball program being good.
If you
are just doing it for a check,
just start writing checks to the university.
If you get an interview, there's no chance you do. But if you get an interview,
True, stop.
How?
True. He's not getting an interview.
I've got a better chance of making it on the Corn Ferry Tour than you have of getting an interview at UMKC.
No.
Yes.
Yep.
What do you mean? Yep. I could talk to the athletic director at UMKC this week.
Cody.
No, I could send him an email. I could meet him on campus.
Cody,
not about the job.
No, but I could bring it up.
Well, Drew can talk to somebody with the Corn Ferry.
He can talk to the Corn Ferry director about getting him on the tour.
He could.
I don't know.
I bet you if the Corn Ferry director would love to promote the Corn Ferry, and if we asked him, what's the best advice you would give for our guy to get on what's the steps, he would have a real plan. There is no athletic director that's going to give you a real job interview.
He's going to have to get like a negative handicap.
More realistic than you getting a job coaching D1 basketball.
No, I said interview. I wasn't talking about the job. I was talking about an interview.
At the very least, I have experience playing golf in some capacity that is like in the realm of scratch. In the realm of scratch at times.
I don't think so.
You haven't coached a single basketball team, high school or middle school.
Dude, the level of golf you play is the same level of basketball I've coached.
No,
which is amateur.
No.
You haven't coached anything.
No.
Comparable.
No.
Cody, I have hit a sub under par round. Have you coached basketball?
Cody hasn't coached a middle school team. A fourth graders.
At all.
He hasn't coached a fourth grade team either.
You see a text line said Cody could be our Doug Gottlieb.
There you go. All right.
Next up on What's Trending, latest on the NFL coaching circles. We'll talk more about it later on in the show. Mike McDaniel is now interviewing in Buffalo alongside Philip Rivers, so they're casting a wide net there in Buffalo. Mike McDaniel obviously has accepted the OC job, similar as Brian Flores, the DC job in Minnesota. Both, if they were to get a head coaching job, obviously can still do that despite the fact they've signed with those teams.
No surprise here on What's Trending. Fernando Mendoza officially declared for the NFL draft. I know we're all shocked. He is likely going to go number 1 overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. He was on this CBS this morning or whatever it is. He announced it there. He's been making the media rounds. He was on Jimmy Fallon last night. He was actually pretty funny and handled it well. They did a funny segment where they said, hey, you broke a lot of records, so let's break some more. And they had Jimmy Fallon throwing up records while he threw footballs to break them. It was pretty good. It was a good little segment that they did during the late show last night.
Nice and easy. Lastly, on What's Trending, speaking of college football, the college football playoff is officially staying at 12 teams for 2026. Not surprising. Most people thought it would for this upcoming season. A formal announcement is expected later today, according to ESPN. But they'll stay at 12 for now. There's still an impasse between the SEC and the
They did make a tweak or two, though.
Big Ten.
There was an announcement that, that they're going to have still the conference champ, no matter what the ranking is, will get an automatic.
So JMU would not be in, Duke would be. Is the big change.
Conference champion.
And Notre Dame would also have been in instead of Miami because of the clause that they have in where if they're ranked inside the top 12, then they're automatically in, which I still think is
crazy how they agreed to that. How on earth anybody agreed to that a year ago?
You're making side deals with programs, I think is nuts.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Notre Dame's powerful. I mean, it speaks to your power. They're powerful enough. They're the only team who manages to stay independent.
Cam Newton earlier today said that Notre Dame hasn't been relevant in years, and they were in the national title game last season. So
yeah, Cam Newton.
Come on, Cam.
Cam is.
Come on, Cam.
He is definitely, and it's just, this is a much we could have a.
He's too busy watching Arkansas and Mississippi State games.
Well, we just could have a much deeper discussion about I think somebody had a write up about Dan Orlovsky this week too, and the reality.
From how much he's glazing Josh Allen.
Well, it's not even just that, but what you said about Cam Newton. Cam Newton has discovered, just like Dan Orlovsky has discovered, that the way to make the most amount of money working at ESPN is to not actually give rational reason takes. It's to say the insane bleep. Yeah. And it's been this way for a while. But Dan Orlovsky did not, as much as you may not like him now, there was a point in time Dan Orlovsky was on that network and gave really good insight and really good takes.
Over the last genuine opinions.
Genuine opinions. In the last 2.5 years, he realized, how do I stay employed there and make the most amount of money? And it's been talking a little bit more craziness, stuff that I don't truly think he believes. Cam Newton's not on there to give, the most thoughtful insight about NFL quarterbacks. He's recognized that, come up with, here, you
wear
mentioned,
crazy hats
you mentioned his name.
Things.
Why? Because he said something that was stupid. That's he gets attention for it. I hate that that's where it's become.
Shout
but
out to Shea Cornette for calling him out on it too afterwards. But anyways.
But that's just a whole much deeper media conversation. No, it drives me crazy.
Look, and I think Nick Wright pointed it out, and he's obviously biased towards Kansas City, but
sure.
The ESPN car wash has decided to defend Josh Allen's game more than Josh Allen is willing to defend it. It's like they're trying to make it seem like he's untouchable and he screwed up. He had an awful game. He deserves some heat for it.
What did you call it? The ESPN car wash? Is that what you just said?
Yeah. That's what they call when you go through, when you do all the shows on ESPN. You go through the car wash. Yeah,
it's just they've all just decided to defend him more than he's even willing to defend his own performance, which doesn't make sense. Let's talk about the games this week. And obviously the Bills are not involved in it.
Are you guys
Patriots, Broncos, Rams, Seahawks?
Obviously the Chiefs aren't in it, but are you divisional round and wild card weekend? We're awesome. Are you excited?
It's not the most exciting slate. Patriots, Broncos in particular, because it's Jared Stidham, lacks a little luster, admittedly. But Rams, Seahawks, I don't know why you wouldn't like that, other than if you're not going to get up for Sam Darnold. Those are two of the best teams in the NFL all year, coming from the best division in football. They have played great games earlier in the season. Hell yeah, I'm interested in that game. I don't know why it wouldn't be. The Rams, and as the same as if the Chiefs were in it? No. But I am kind of fascinated what it takes to win a Super Bowl in a year where the Chiefs don't gobble it up. They have been to 5 of the last 7. They go to them all the time. Or 5 of the last 6, but they've won 5 of the last, or 3 of 7, or whatever it is. But they've been to a ton of them. And a bunch of other teams have not been going to the Super Bowl over that time. And so, in a weird year, and we're not even I guess we're not even bothered by who's the next guy catching up to Mahomes. There'd be a little bit of that if Drake May won it. But the heat would not be turned up nearly as much. It'd have been Allen or Jackson or a number of other quarterbacks. Drake May's just so young in the game, I'm fascinated by it. But Stidham, Stafford be towards the end, and Darnold feels like a one-off.
There's separate conversations within this weekend. I mean, yes, there's the legacy aspect of it. Matthew Stafford potentially could be on his way to his second Super Bowl ring. It would end any sort of debate about his Hall of Fame case and all that kind of stuff. It would be the cherry on top of his career. There's that story and what it would be there. Sam Darnold is one of the great stories in the NFL already, a guy that was a bust as a top pick with the Jets, and we all know what he did for a period of time with Minnesota for that up until week 18, and then it flopped, and he lost a lot of money. And now we'll see what happens on Sunday. If they lose, I don't think it'll be because Sam Darnold turns into a pumpkin, okay? But if, in fact, he gets them to a Super Bowl, that's an amazing storyline. I'm not saying it's like the sexiest storyline, but it's a hell of a story. You know, it really is.
It's a movie. It's a Disney movie kind of thing.
And Seattle has been one of the best teams all season, if not the best team all season. And then on the AFC side, the Jarrett Stidham thing, it would be like the Nick Foles aspect if, in fact, he got them there.
But I don't think than that.
I don't think this is with the Broncos defense, like that game, while it's not as intriguing as Rams-Seahawks because of the divisional aspect, and those two, to me, are the two best teams. I think the winner of Rams-Seahawks wins the Super Bowl. But the Broncos defense will keep them in this game against Drake May. Like I think the Broncos will probably lose, and I'm picking the Patriots to win.
But you think it's close?
I think the Broncos can cover, and with that defense,
what's the line, 5.5?
4.5. It was 5.5. Yeah, it's gone down to 4.5.
That line doesn't seem crazy, but I understand the idea of like how many points is Bo Nix worth, and because of the way they run their offense, less right than
like Mahomes is worth 7 or 8 points depending on which handicapper you talk to.
Yeah, and so like I understand that Bo Nix is worth less and that Jared Stidham can do it. I've been relatively critical, or at least how about this? Not critical, a bit of a disbeliever in Bo Nix. You and I both have been all season. In this postseason and in a couple of big-time AFC games that they had to win, I will give him credit for he made big moment throws. He took his team down and he drove on some touchdowns and he made some big drives. He made some big throws. He did seem to have a certain level of clutch to what he had done in this postseason. While overall, I think it's conservative and it won't last in the long run. He's going to have to crank it up and take that next step in order to like matter every year, and he can't just rely on having a defense like this every single season. That's what I think they'll miss in Stidham. Stidham might be able to keep him in the game for 3 quarters. I don't think he can win it for him in 4. And like the only thing that I guess the Broncos should really cling to is Drake May has been beyond careless with the football this postseason. He's trying to give it away at every turn. It should have had more turnovers. And he's been fumbling. He's been throwing some dangerous passes. He's taking some risks.
The good news for him, at least, is unlike what they just had in Foxborough, they're not going to be playing in the middle of a snowstorm. It's going to be cold, like 20s or whatever, but sunny, I think, in Denver. Like they're not getting what we're getting right now. They're not going to have that on Sunday for this game. And in terms of just the game flow and all that, you would think that it's just going to be really, really low scoring.
I would think so.
But usually when everybody has that thought, watch all of a sudden Jarrett Stidham has an opening drive touchdown or something like that. But it's the lowest total of the 2 games, and it's 42.5. And I think most of the money, it looks like right now, split is on the under. So that always scares you off a little bit sometimes when you start to see everybody hammering the under.
I'm a little worried we're going to get 4. Like, the playoff theme has been defense. The number... we pointed out the stat yesterday. The teams with the best pressure rate from the defensive tackles, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the 4 teams remaining. It has been a and even though the game in the Broncos and the Bills was in the 30s, it was those last minute defensive stands, and it just feels like it's been the theme of the playoffs. I feel like that Patriots Broncos game's gonna end up in the teens, like low 20s maybe. Because the Patriots defense is peaking at the right time.
I thought the Broncos needed that game to be in the teens last week against Buffalo, and they won a game in the 30s. I mean, that was the whole thing. I was way off. Last week I said, if it's in the 20s or 30s, the Broncos are screwed. And what do? They win a game with 5 turnovers. I guess that's the part. I did not account for Josh Allen handing the football to the Broncos with 5 seconds to go before halftime. But hey, that's gambling.
That was the worst one of all of all the interceptions, all the fumbles. That one was egregious.
It's crazy.
Considering the amount of time there was left in half, why was he holding the football like that? He's run way too much in his career. It was like he decided, I got to make the big-time hero run like Mahomes does in the playoffs. And I'm going to make it right now before half, and then just gave them 3 free points and then immediately turned it over out of half. They lost the game right there.
Just with there's the prediction part of like what you think's going to happen. What do you want to have happen? Those are two different answers, maybe. So for me, Rams and Patriots is what I want to have happen because of a prediction from a month ago. In terms of what I think is going to happen, I think the Seahawks are winning this game, and it'll be Seahawks Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So my prediction is. I told you I predicted this. Seahawks Patriots is my prediction.
Yeah, from a month ago.
What do I want? Seahawks Broncos. Seahawks win the Super Bowl.
You want Stidham in the Super Bowl? Ugh.
Well, I don't want the Patriots. I already told you that.
I know I don't want the Patriots to win it. I don't think they'll win anyway. This is what I'm saying.
I think the NFC's winning either way at this point. But it's like, I don't want to watch
Jared Stidham versus
Darnold. Perfect.
No.
You know what?
No.
It's the cherry on top of a season that sucked anyway if you're a Chiefs fan. Great. Get a Super Bowl that's Stidham and it feels right. You know, when years are already going against you, things are working against you in a number of ways.
People are going to watch, though.
Just give me,
of course, people are
just give me the
watch,
thing that feels right. And what feels right for this crap sandwich of a season is Jared Stidham versus Sam Darnold for it all. For all the marbles, you know?
Someone pointed out it's weird on the text line. They said, you guys know that this is a weird thing. The AFC and NFC title game, both games have coaches that are Sean and Mike.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
I was like, I did not think of that. It's random
cool.
text.
Random
text, but I'm like, oh, yeah, you're not wrong.
Probably nobody cares, but it comments based on this. In my class, I have 18 students, and for whatever reason, because people just like decide the spot they're going to sit in and they just stay there. I have 2 people with the same name in my class, like 2 different sets of people with the same name. Let's just call them Mike and Sean for the argument. I guess I probably shouldn't say their actual names.
Okay.
The 2 Mikes sit right next to each other, and the 2 Seans sit right next to each other. So every time I call them on a class, nobody knows who I'm talking to. It's just like a total mystery. I'm like, why did you both choose to sit directly next to each other?
Got to get the last name initial there. You got it, Mike S.
Or can I can't probably identify by gender because one of them has a gender neutral name, and so it's a boy and a girl with the same name.
Gotcha.
Can I say boy, like boy Mike? You talk. Or do I just say, you just think I just do the last initial? I just say,
are they both
Mike
like asking, are they both like raising their hand at the same time? Is that
yesterday?
Where
I was so they had to tell me the podcast they were listening to, and the students were going through it. And I called on the person with the name, and the other person started talking. They derailed us for a full 3 minutes because they knew immediately. She immediately knew. She was like, "I knew you were going to start talking. This has happened before."
I don't know how you avoid it. I'll be honest. I don't know how it's
other than make them not sit next to each other.
Sounds like
but you're not going to do that.
Professor.
No, that's crazy.
Sounds like the professor needs to get a hold of the situation and figure it out. That's what it sounds like to me.
In a college
take control
setting,
of your classroom.
In a college setting, making them switch seats, it would actually be kind of ludicrous. That would be insane.
Figure it out, man, professor. Figure it out.
Last names? Maybe we'll go by last names.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't. Is there anybody that goes by a last name? So I went by my last name to a lot of people when I was in high school and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I mean, if
I think
you,
a lot
if
of
you
people
said Johnson or whatever, like
athletes, or if you played any kind of team sport or involved in that. At some points in my life, Alex still goes by Gold to a lot of people, not to everybody, but to some. I went by Tap, and there's still people who call me Tap. I feel like that stuck with some other siblings more than maybe me. But nobody in the class is like,
Someone
please call me by my last name.
Yeah.
Somebody did say, wow, next year Cody Syllabus gonna have to have a whole new page of rules about names and what we can call each other in class.
No one with
You
the
already
same name
20-page
next to each
syllabus
other.
that you have.
They make me make it that long.
I'm surprised that they make it that long, to be honest with you.
Sometimes you can't use your eyes to like make it clear who you're talking to.
They sit direct. So
yeah, but you
if
can
Drew's
still
sitting right next to you.
Yeah, you turn your head a little bit.
But they still think you're talking to them.
Or point.
They're sitting too close.
You go,
Ryan.
Mike. You go, Mike, and you point.
That Ryan. You, Ryan, other Ryan.
Good luck coaching a basketball team. You can't figure out the damn names of your class.
This head was a little awkward, that's all.
Figure it out.
You know, a little bit different.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we will get back into the coaching search, which does feature an interview today for the Bills job with Phillip Rivers after he played, as we all know, a few games this year for the Indianapolis Colts. Would be pretty crazy if they actually hired him, but according to the reports, it's a real, and this is like a real thing. Remember, a team hired Jeff Saturday in the middle of the season, so this would not be the most insane thing ever that we've seen when it comes to a coaching.
I think I actually figured it out. You call them by their grades in the class.
He's still going. We moved out. He's still going.
You call them by their grade in the class.
Yeah, definitely not allowed.
Like what grade they have?
Yes.
Definitely not allowed.
I don't think I'm allowed.
Mike with a B.
Mike currently with a B in this class. What do you think?
That would be wild behavior, but I think that would be kind of funny.
Yesterday, Cody, during Random Question of the Day, you mentioned that the Oscar nominations are out. And look, there's some people that don't care about Oscar nominations. That's fine. But we were curious how many of those Best Picture nominees had we seen.
And you had seen zero.
Zero.
None.
Drew had seen zero.
Zilch.
And so I said it's something I'm going to do moving forward. And now with the weather this weekend and there's not a ton of football on, people are going to be hunkered down, so you're probably watching Netflix a ton. I knocked one of the movies off the list. Now, I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen it. But the first one up, because it was easy on HBO Max. I didn't have to pay for it. It was already part of the subscription or whatever. Sinners. Watched last night. 2 hours and 45 minutes. I was able to do
Spoilers, maybe ahead. We don't think so.
No,
but
I don't want to spoil
just be
it.
warned.
I will say, watch till the very end through the credits. That's important. Do not, once the movie's over, credits start, do not flip it off. No.
It's an important aspect of the ending of the movie.
Absolutely it is. Michael B. Jordan, this is not a spoiler. Everybody knows this if you've tried to look into the movie. Him playing two people at once is incredible. And he was phenomenal. Yeah. Sinners was very good.
Music
Not
is
even
really
what
good.
it is very good. I knew some of the plot. I guess I just watched it because we said to watch it. I didn't really do a ton of research on it. So there was I was like, oh, this is the type of movie it was. I really
didn't realize.
I knew it was a thriller, I guess is the category it falls into.
But you didn't know. Where you think it was more like in the Get Out style?
Yeah, I guess I truly didn't look into it, so I did not know there was. This won't spoil, will it?
No, I don't.
Zombies
think so.
involved.
I don't know how.
Or vampires, sorry.
Yeah, vampires. I don't know how you wouldn't. I guess I don't know how you wouldn't know that based on some of the.
I didn't read
like,
anything into it. You guys said watch Sinners, and I watched Sinners, and it was really, really good last night. I can see why it has the most nominations. Now I haven't watched the other Best Picture nominees, so we'll see where it stacks up. But it's a strong start.
I thought it was excellent, well acted. Well, like the plot is fully conceived. It ends the way you like. I mean, it has a little bit of everything. Some of the acting performances, including
well
like
done, yeah.
him playing the, Stack, right? And that like them playing him
Smoke
playing
and Stack.
Smoke and Stack. Him playing the pair of twins is incredible, just in its own right for a number of reasons. But yeah, I thought it was great. So now, are you going to watch another one tonight? You said.
I don't know if I'll get another one tonight, but this weekend I'll watch another one of the Best Picture nominations. Yeah, Drew, which one are you watching first?
I wasn't planning to watch any of them, to be honest with you, but
okay.
Will you watch one just for this show? Can you just choose one to watch?
Yeah,
maybe Sinners, so we can all have watched one movie.
I don't want to watch Sinners.
Wait, why?
I don't like horror movies. I'm not into those.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I watch the F1 one.
F1. Okay. He'll watch
if
F1.
If you want me to do it for the show, I will watch the F1.
I thought, honestly, Drew, that one just seems like a movie you'd like. Because you like racing.
I think it's part of the fact that I know the story.
You're part of the culture.
I know the story, and I like those types of movies, but I'm not.
Is it based on a real story person? I don't think is F1 based off a real person?
I'm thinking Ford versus Ferrari. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's different.
F1 is it's like Days of Thunder-ish, if you will, is what it is, which is a great movie. So I'm sure I would like it. It's just I don't know. I'm not a movie person. I'm not gravitated to movies like that. Oh, it looks cool. I might see it. If I don't, I'm not. I'll live.
Scooby-Doo it is.
I haven't watched Scooby-Doo in probably 6 months. It's been a long
what
time.
have you been watching? What did you watch this week? Give us a TV movie breakdown of your week.
I caught up on an old season of Survivor that I'm getting back into watching Survivor, and
Survivor 50.
I've watched a absolute crap ton of NBA basketball.
Okay. So sports and Survivor.
And we're entering the time now
It's
where
just like
this
the live sporting event
catch up
stuff.
on TV and movies time of the year now is where I'm at.
And I'm like an NBA junkie, so there's NBA on every night, so I'll lock into something.
Fair enough.
Someone says, hearing you guys try to talk movies sounds like when the nerds get the sports category on Jeopardy.
Well, I like movies, though.
I thought Sinners was really, really good. I'm not going
didn't want to spoil it.
I'm not Ebert and Rupert or whatever their names are or whatever. I'm not going to.
Roger and Ebert?
Sure, whatever.
Whatever
the hell their name is. Yeah. Those guys. You knew who I meant.
Those guys have been dead forever. They might both be dead.
Someone brought up
there are new people reviewing movies.
Give me the name. Give me the names. Can you name them?
So somebody brought up a good point.
Can you name them?
From the 816, the Aussie Open.
You knew exactly what I was talking about.
I did, but it was just the way you said it that got me, you know?
Well, I said it wrong is why, but yeah, those are the two of the most famous film critics. And Roger Ebert's been dead for 12 years, 13 years. But I don't know any other film critics off the top of my head.
They're probably all on, TikTok. And
Rotten Tomatoes, fine.
I mean, that's probably as good of any as a reference.
Anyway, there you go.
I follow Shea Serrano's movie podcast thing, or like.
Yeah, I follow Shea Serrano. He's always talking about.
He's big into movies.
I don't think he's anywhere near the name wreck as old Roger.
No, that was probably the heyday of movie reviews. I give it 2 thumbs up.
All right, up next, let's talk about the coaching carousel.
Siskel and Ebert. Even I got it wrong, but either way.
Yeah, we butchered it. Anyway.
After you said Roger, I
definitely said it.
I made it worse.
I combined 2 names. It was a disaster. Anyway, let's get to the coaching carousel. Jesse Minter is the head coach of the Ravens now. What does that mean for someone that at one point was a favorite to land a head coaching job, and now will he even have an OC job?
You're listening to Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Tune in for the Fan Club every Friday at 1, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like Dark Mode 2. Log into BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Heartland Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or 2 of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Heartland Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Refresh your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Reimagine your bathroom with up to 40% off select faucets during our Bath Savings event. Need it today? Order by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Shop for your bathroom refresh at Lowe's. We help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Same-day delivery on eligible in-stock items. Subject to availability. Fees vary. Visit Lowes.com/same-day delivery for full terms.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325. Boom! On back-to-back weekends, the new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam! Let's go!
One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go!
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month only on Paramount Plus.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Cody is in the process of sending out feelers.
Cool, man.
Basically, you hear about we sent some feelers out to see if they might have interest in something or this candidate. Cody is sending out feelers during the break now about UMKC and him being a basketball coach there.
You really want to hear
it's
Carrington
ridiculous.
break down your basketball?
He just asked Carrington
if I have his support.
And Carrington said no. He said, you should be an advisor, though.
So what do you... He said that they should ask me for ideas about how to improve the program.
I think he meant academic advisor is what he meant.
But he doesn't want me leading the program.
Smart.
I said, how do I not have your support?
Yeah, not happening.
In the old building?
Yeah, I get
Cody,
you.
I think the worst case scenario for you is you start out 0-8 and CDOT on the show that follows up the show that you're on says, you know, that Cody type guy, he needs to get fired from UMKC. They need to just get rid of it now. Just dissolve the situation now and be done with it.
How the tables would turn, man. It would hurt, admittedly.
Someone said
it would hurt.
Fighting words.
It would hurt.
Someone said
those are fighting words.
Someone said, what's worse, Cody wanting Spags to have his own bust and pay for it, or Cody thinking he has a shot at being the coach? Because Cody wanted to start a campaign to have pay for a bust for Spags a year ago.
I stand by
and that died very quickly.
Everybody don't want to raise $10,000.
No, and then now you want people to support your candidacy as Carrington is in studio.
You won't support me as UMKC's men's head basketball coach?
Cody, this
That's
is
cold.
This is what happens on this show.
Supposed to have each other's
you
back.
guys distort the truth. I support you in a lot of ways with UMKC. This is what I think UMK should do. I think they should come to you and give you a nice salary. Let's say they give you $100,000 a year. You guys have shown on this show that you guys have great ideas and you can execute ideas. You can get people excited. They should pay you to help people get excited about UMKC basketball. Can you guys host little happy hours and mixers and drum up support? So I definitely support
Gotta get some NIL
being,
money for some players.
That's your job. That's what I'm saying, Cody. You become not the GM.
They already have somebody doing that, just is doing that or about to.
I mean, have you been seeing the product on
No,
the
somebody
court?
just got hired recently.
Okay, well, I'm saying
job?
Something development or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that we don't know who it is, Cody would be a perfect person. He's a successful radio host. He's from the city.
Nice.
He's an alum.
He said that's nice.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't want it to be like I don't support Cody in any. I definitely support him. Now, I don't think he can be the head coach of the team.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Why? Why not? What, are they going to do worse? They're going to make less tournaments? They're going to finish worse in the Summit League? You know, we said the same thing about Doug Gottlieb. He's got his team playing good.
Doug Gottlieb played Division I college basketball.
Yeah, that's a little
There are
different.
standards, Cody.
He played Division I college basketball.
Look, I'll surround myself with great people. I'm not saying it's just like, it's only going to be me.
Oh, so you're acting like, so that usually when people say, I'm going to surround myself with great people, that means they themselves are an unbelievable leader. Are you suggesting that you're just this unbelievable motivator and leader and organizer?
How do you know I couldn't be?
So basically, Cody, he wants to be UMKC's.
He's a Rue ambassador is what the text line said.
Yeah, he wants to be Nick Sirianni. That's what he wants to be. He doesn't want to call the offensive plays or the defensive plays. He's just there to motivate guys.
Who's your big dom? Because I think that guy's more responsible for the Eagles' success than anybody on that entire staff.
That's a great question. Who's the muscle for this organization?
Because I think
sounds like Ryan Wachowski.
Former UMKC grad too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like
he
Wachowski.
Can be my big Tom.
That's why I'm saying, Cody, I support
Get Jarrett Sutton to run my offense.
This is why
get him off the
yeah, he's
scouting
game. He's going to leave his gig with the Pelicans to join you at UMKC.
He might.
I mean, he already works at UMKC essentially. I mean, this would be a step in the right direction.
You know, Pelicans.
Yeah, UMKC. They're the UMKC of the NBA.
He's from the University of Missouri system.
Yeah. So I support UMKC. Hire Cody. Give him a nice salary and let Cody go around the city. You guys have cool T-shirt ideas. Get people fired up about Ruse basketball. You would be every day on here. You guys would do giveaways. You would talk about it. You would get listeners to come out to the games. Yeah, they should absolutely include you.
This is a very good proposal from Carrington. I like the idea.
For sure. Thank you.
You want to go to a Ruse game together this year?
Oh, absolutely. I go once a year. I always support the Ruse.
Cody,
I want
year to support
I want Kansas City to do well. I want them to. I support them.
Cody, if CDOT is right, let's say you went ahead and you marketed and there's T-shirt giveaways and all these other things. I think as a as a neutral to Kansas sports, I would follow Kansas City, the Roos, a little bit more because of the merch you're giving out.
Drew owns gear for every
attention.
team in the country
Exactly.
besides the Roos.
Thank you. Exactly.
Drew's rocking Missouri. Drew rocks
have.
Missouri State gear all the time.
I do not have any Missouri State stuff yet.
Bear down.
Yes.
I thought I saw you just in a Missouri State pullover 2 days ago.
No, I have my high school colors are maroon and burgundy, and I had a maroon Nike jacket.
I do love
from
this
high
show.
school.
Alex cheers for a team. I never know. Cody might come in here. You never know what. All of a sudden, they hired Deion Sanders. He started wearing Buffalo gear.
You did quiet down on the Cody.
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing with Dusty, in fairness. Dusty, for that 1 year, they beat TCU, and Dusty was with the sunglasses and everything. I don't know if he's worn that hoodie, that Coach Prime
He bought the
hoodie.
official Prime merch.
I've owned that Colorado hoodie since it was Tad Boyle.
Since Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, EB.
Since
Whatever the
EB
coach.
was there.
I wore that one yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You never know what random team apparel this show is going to rock.
That's true.
I don't think it's bad for me. Mine's mostly Royal stuff. Drew owns it for every team in the country, I think. He just likes college gear.
He's collecting all the conferences.
I support you guys. That's all I wanted to come on here and say.
All right. Well, I've applied, so if you talk to the AD, let him know.
Have you noticed that Alex and we haven't had any beef in a while? We got to create some beef. We haven't had beef since the football game. We got to generate some beef since the Kiss Cam. That was the last time.
That's true.
You and I are good for beef twice a year.
Yeah, we haven't. It's early in the year, man.
Yeah, it's early. Don't worry.
It's only January 20th. We'll come up with something.
I'll create something.
There will be.
We'll find some beef.
January 23rd, something like that. We'll find something over the next couple months, I'm sure. That's
Something will
CDOT,
come up.
of course, the drive.
Give it time.
Coming up.
We should have asked him about my hypothetical Brian Thomas trade. That went over terribly.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't think he'd like it.
I'm off it. Nobody wants it, so I can move on. Let's talk about the head coaching jobs instead for just a minute. Jesse Minter got the Ravens job. First off, before we talk about the other openings and the way this carousel could go, including Phillip Rivers interviewing and Josh Allen sitting in on the interviews for the Bills. The Jesse Minter hire, it's not, I wouldn't call it like inspiring where I'm like, wow, what a great fit for the Ravens. But they got one of the better head coaching candidates available, one that a lot of teams really wanted and respected. I do think he comes off as like he's going to have to be the excellent leader and the great leader. The problem is that for the last few years, the offense is actually not, I think that's why they made the hire. The offense actually hasn't been the issue for the Ravens consistently. They have scored. Lamar Jackson's got a couple MVPs for a reason. They have moved the ball. Their question is, can they get their defense back to the level that it was before? And some of their issues there are talent-based. So can you draft some people that Minter can coach up? Because what do I think? Harbaugh couldn't coach a defense all of a sudden? He's part of the reason that the Ravens were an excellent defensive team for all those years
They
before.
made the DC change after Martindale, I think, and it didn't work since then.
Yeah, Wink left and actually went to Michigan briefly or whatever it was as well. And I think, the Harbaugh stories that were coming out, we don't know what truly was 100%. There was about the Lamar relationship, but also some of it was, was he not willing to fire his defensive coordinator this past season? Everybody's talking about Todd Monken, but that he was loyal to his DC there. And so I do think the Ravens are looking to get that defense back up to snuff. I'll be fascinated to see their OC hire. That's very important when you're talking about Lamar Jackson. Who's the OC? Is it Cliff? Is there somebody else that ends up taking that gig? So what direction do they head there? And then thinking of OCs, Cody, it is getting a little late in the cycle now, and Matt Nagy is not getting the Tennessee gig. The Chiefs finally today put out the thank you, Matt Nagy, for your service.
You're fired. And the welcome, Eric
most quiet departure / firing that you've seen in the NFL in a while. I understand his contract expired. They didn't.
It was a little bit like Milton from Office Space. We fixed the glitch.
It wasn't.
They didn't actually fire him. They just
he did not get
didn't keep
fired.
him employed.
But again, they did not make an effort to bring him back. So it's a nice way to put it. But anyway, so it will be fairly telling though if he doesn't even get an OC job. Where's he going to get the report? I mean, Philadelphia, he interviewed there, but I don't know if that's going to.
Doesn't seem like anyone wants that job.
And where's he going to be the OC? Is he going to get an OC job? I thought it was a sure thing.
Well, there's still some coach openings. So, the new Arizona Cardinals head coach couldn't hire him as an OC.
It depends. Is that guy an offensive mind already?
Well, he might not get to call plays.
But
he might. I would still. I mean, come on, dude. If I'll just say, half the league is open in OC. After not now, but half of the league will turn over offensive coordinator. If he doesn't get a single job as OC, then I would say that this is very damning for Andy Reid. That all the coaches he's letting go are undesirable. Because Connor Emery's not getting scooped up as the next wide receiver coach for some other team either.
Because one or two
it
things
can't be
is
good
happening.
that you're surrounding yourself with coaches that other people don't want. You should have people on your staff that people desire. Like their front office keeps getting plucked. You know, Bradway's got an interview there in Atlanta or whatever, and they've lost 3 other guys the last 2 years.
Or, I mean, look, there's a couple of things could be at play. A, it's what you're saying, which is he already knows he's got an in on another OC job, so he's waiting to see how things play out for that hiring. Or there's a coach that he's already aligned himself with, and he's waiting to see if that guy is taking a job. Yeah, Nashville, someone points out, still has an OC job.
There was already an OC job that was in waiting if, who was it? One of the guys who's not going to get a head coaching job already said he'd take on Tennessee if not. Maybe it was McDaniel. I don't remember now.
No, McDaniel's going to the Chargers if he doesn't get the job.
Sorry.
And then if who's the other guy? If he doesn't get Brian Flores is a defensive-minded coach. He's going back to Vikings if he doesn't get a head coaching job. So it looks like he probably will go back to the Vikings. But will Matt Nagy go to a place?
Dable said he'll take the job if he doesn't get the head coaching job. The OC job in Tennessee. So that one's done too.
So I don't know where Matt Nagy's going to end up after all this.
It feels like he's going to be without a home. Like he's going to have to do what Eric Bieniemy did.
Well, EB left Kansas City, became the OC in Washington, then went to college, then went to be a running back coach in Chicago, and now is back as the OC in Kansas City. That's official now, by the way. We already knew it pretty much all week, but that's an official thing that EB's now the OC.
If he doesn't get an OC job, then Andy Reid's never going to get another good offensive coordinator for the rest of the time. It's a death sentence. Like, it'll get you a head coaching job, but it'll get you fired, too. You're Doug Peterson. You get the head coaching job, you get one more, you fired you out of the league. You don't work.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the Chiefs.
No, I know, but like...
You're just saying the coaching tree element of it?
So, like, that one was the best case scenario. Yeah, but then, like, Eric Bieniemy got worse and worse when worse jobs and just had to work his way back. Matt Nagy got a head coaching job, had to come back, and now can't even get an OC
You're saying
job?
the desire to be Andy Reid's OC is significantly
I feel like it's going down if nobody's leaving
getting a
gig. Yeah. I think if every coach can't even can't even keep an OC job in another town, like Eric Bieniemy got to be the OC for one NFL team for 1 year.
Yeah, but Robert Rivera got fired. I mean, that was
I know.
Was him directly.
But they weren't lining up at the door to take him in a different spot in an OC job. And again, this time around, do you think? And that's the other question. If Eric Bieniemy had interviewed for all the openings at offensive coordinator, do you think he gets another one besides Kansas City? Because I don't.
So, again, we don't know the full... Did he not interview anywhere else for an OC job because he just knew he was getting the Chiefs gig? I think that's what happened, because otherwise nobody else even tried to interview Eric Bieniemy. My guess is people talk, agents talk, everybody knew, no, he's going to Kansas City. Don't waste your time. And that, to me, is what happened with the Eric Bieniemy situation. And I don't know if we'll ever get the answer. Did the Chiefs... Right now, it doesn't feel like the Chiefs ever talked to anybody else, which is crazy. Will we ever find out? Did they ever talk to a single other person about the OC job?
I don't think so. They'll lie about it and say they did. But no. Does anyone actually think they did? I don't think they talked to another candidate. I think.
No, I feel like it would have come out in some fashion. It would have come out in some way.
Aren't they required?
They had Ian Rappaport say things like candidates.
Cody, maybe
they put an S on it, but they didn't ever name a single other person they interviewed.
I'd have to look it up. I honestly don't know definitively. I thought, and this is why I wonder if we'll find out another name at some point. I thought even if you hire, like in this case, of course, Eric Bieniemy is a minority coaching candidate. I thought even if you were hiring a minority coaching candidate, I thought you still had to interview for an assist for OC. I thought you had to interview 2 people. I could be wrong.
Right now, it does not matter for assistant coaches.
It does not.
Do whatever the
hell
you want.
They maybe only interviewed 1, and that was it.
I don't think they interviewed. They convinced the national narrative, and this is where it's a good job to do a spin. They got Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissaro and Ian Rappaport and all these guys to send out Eric Bieniemy is one of the candidates.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all they ever put, to be clear. They just added an S to the word candidate. And this goes back to you and I. It's like I would have liked it to be an open competition with a lot of discourse internally and all this other stuff, and figured out they wanted the comfort of bringing EB back, and that's okay. But it is kind of interesting with Nagy that
this is where I saw it.
I still think he'll get an OC job, but I'm not sure.
I don't know if Mitchell Schwartz was mistaken. So this is where I got. So Mitchell Schwartz tweeted out last week. He said, "You guys realize you can't just hire an OC and only interview one guy, right? The Rooney Rule states that 2 outside minority candidates must be interviewed." Now, he maybe is wrong, but that's where I
I'm gonna look on NFL's website, I guess. Let's see.
He's saying that it has to be even for an OC job, it has to be 2 outside minority candidates. So even if they hired Eric Bieniemy, which they did,
according to the NFL operations site, in recent years, the committee's proposed additional changes that have not technically occurred yet. The clubs must interview at least 2 external diverse minority or female candidates for any GM or head coaching interview. Clubs must interview at least 2 minority candidates for all coordinator positions. But this is listing it as, in recent years, the committee has proposed additional changes to strengthen. And this is the
so we don't know if this
NFL
is actually in
operations
place
website.
yet.
I mean, that would make it imply that it's not.
Right. Interesting.
And that
okay.
it has been a proposal by the policy. And again, this is NFL's official website on the matter. And they're just saying it's been recently proposed, I guess, outside of it. But even if they did, it was a paper interview. It was like, the David is like, oh, yeah, come on in. Yeah, real, whatever. Todd Pinkston got an interview before they were going to fire him or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It was a joke process in that sense. That's all.
Someone says, you guys know Mike McDaniels qualifies as a minority interview. I do, but the Chiefs never talked to Mike McDaniels. So
no, they didn't. I mean, he obviously has agreed. I don't know. Would I rather him? How would you feel? Would you rather, because you're not a believer necessarily that he's a great head coach yet. I'm assuming you would rather but you think he's a good coordinator. I'm assuming you'd rather he be the Bills head coach than the Chargers offensive coordinator. Is that fair to assume?
No, but my take has been, though, the reason why I'm not worried about him being the Chargers OC, Cody, is because if he's good there, he'll get a head coaching job. So that he could result in being a head coach in the next year or so as well. I think, now, versus the candidates the Bills have interviewed right now, Mike McDaniels seems actually like one of the better candidates. I mean, Phillip Rivers, with all due respect, I think he's probably a brilliant coaching mind, like in terms of what he knows. But to go from coaching a high school team to being the head coach of the Buffalo Bills is insane. I want it to happen, yes.
Yes. I've never wanted anything more for the Bills. Please hire Phillip Rivers to be the head coach. Please. That'd be even more insane than when they took Jeff Saturday off the ESPN set and in the middle of the season named him the Colts coach. Because the idea that you have Josh Allen, a generational talent, right? He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. You don't get quarterbacks like him very often. And then all of a sudden, you'd be plucking a guy who was coaching high school football and then stepped in for a couple of games starting for the Colts for no reason, and now would just be the head coach of one of the premier quarterbacks in the league? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Interviewing him speaks to a level of idiocy.
Here's odds offshore.
Inside the organization to me that's like, are you a bad team? Just even interviewing him is a stupid decision in my opinion.
I mean, I never usually have an issue with. I actually think interviewing people, it's good. You can learn a lot in an interview process, not only with that individual candidate, but it's why, frankly, it might be why Matt Nagy's had so many interviews, because you still want to find out a little bit more about Andy Reid's system a little bit. I don't think it's a terrible thing to interview a bunch of people. I think it's actually important that you don't only interview one person and give them a job. I think that's a problem. It was part of my issue with the OC hiring the Chiefs had. It wasn't even so much about EB as much as it was, I don't think the process was great. Anyway, offshore odds for the next Bills head coach, Brian Daboll's the favorite. Phillip Rivers has the second best odds offshore to be the head coach. Joe Brady, third best odds. Davis Webb, fourth best odds. For the Browns job, Jim Schwartz is the heavy favorite right now, followed by Nate Scheelhaus. For the Raiders gig, Clint Kubiak is the favorite, followed by Davis Webb. And for the Steelers job, Chris Shula, the Rams defensive coordinator, is the favorite, followed by Mike McCarthy.
Sometimes it's always interesting to me, the ones who've been around a little while and still haven't secured it, or have been open for a while. Like, Steelers job's been open for a little while.
Yeah.
Ravens got their guy.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. On the text line, 913-586-7965. Of course, you can hit us up on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, where we live stream the show 4 hours every single day. So check that out over on there. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Pop to the top of your feed. Obviously, today's question is weather-related.
Oh, yeah?
As you would imagine, is the storm... First off, just before we get to the random part of the random question, do you guys think that this is the one storm that they warn? The one storm a year we get, where the heavy warnings come, and it's really nothing?
I think.
Do you think this is the one? Or do you think this is like a real one?
No, I think it's real. One, because the temperatures don't lie. Like the temp part of it is a huge part of this storm. Is just the frigid Arctic weather.
Yeah, that's going to happen no matter what. I just think we're going to get the snow.
I mean, it depends on which meteorologist, I guess.
Do you think we'll get more than 5 inches of snow?
I think we'll get 6 inches of snow.
Okay, so you're taking the over on 5.5.
Yeah, Bink's excited about it.
Oh my God, there's too much snow.
So you're taking over 5.5. Drew, you?
What do I want or what do I think we're getting?
What do you think we're getting?
I don't know, 4.5 inches, 5 inches.
So he's taking the under. at least on that.
And I also think that I'm going to be optimistic. This is the only snowstorm that we get, and it's going to be 70 degrees by the time we get to March 25th.
Wow, Drew's going to regret those words, man. We still got February.
Bring it on.
You said 5? What's yours?
Yeah, 4.5 or 5. I had a few inches to spare.
I took the under.
Hey, for no, never mind.
I'll go 6.
I took the under. So the question I have for you today is: what kind of shopper are you? Are you I'll just deal with the food inside my house? Are you you're going to go to the grocery store after and pick up some choice supplies to go with you? I want to know which version of a storm shopper are you? Do you not buy anything? Do you buy way too much? Do you buy things you wouldn't typically buy because you're going to try to just make a frozen pizza instead of buy a Chipotle bowl, Gold? I want to know which version of a storm shopper are you? So what is your go-to plan for this evening?
I already got some stuff yesterday. But it's just me though, so there's no need to go overboard here. So I just got some stuff that I can I usually don't cook. You guys know that. In the summertime I'll grill, but wintertime I eat out. It's just me, and so whatever. So I just have stuff I can.
How many times do you cook a week in the winter? Is it once a week? Do I have to say a month?
By cooking,
how many
you
times
mean like
a month?
going out?
What are we talking about?
You mean like frozen pizza even?
I mean, make a meal that you eat in your home. Is it a month? Is it more than? It's 3 times.
It's a couple times a month max.
Man.
So I bought stuff I can easily make at home. So yeah, I did buy a frozen pizza. I bought some pasta noodles or whatever, so I can make some spaghetti, some ground beef, some taco shells. That's what I got. And bags of chips and
what's your breakfast?
A lot of
plan?
Propel.
What's your breakfast plan? Normally have like a yogurt.
What do you
buy
think?
some of those?
Cheerios.
You bought some Cheerios. Okay, Drew. What's your shopping preference?
And here come the texts. I always get myself in trouble with the text line when it comes to the food topics on the show.
Fair.
So we recently just got groceries in general, so that actually kind of works out where we don't. It depends on what we have. If we know, like for instance, after the show, I'm going over to Target real quick to get a couple more things, like just some cans of like SpaghettiOs, some Chef Boyardee stuff, some frozen
SpaghettiOs.
meals.
Okay.
I
don't think you're allowed to be critical.
Okay.
You said Cheerios and some taco shells.
I'm sorry.
You haven't cooked in a month.
I will defend myself if I may. I think there is a big difference between me saying I bought like angel hair pasta noodles and pasta sauce and stuff to make spaghetti and buying a can of Chef Boyardee. Stop. It's not the same thing.
No, man.
Oh, yes. It's not the same thing.
They're in a range.
Anyway,
someone says cottage cheese. That's clearly a callback to earlier in the week.
Hey, struggle meals exist, and that is not my struggle meal. That's the wife's struggle meal, is the SpaghettiOs and the Chef Boyardee stuff. But frozen meals, some Red Baron pizza. Also, we got recently went to Sam's Club, got a ton of chicken, some Italian herb grilled chicken, as a matter of fact, that I'm looking forward to having, as well as making some spaghetti too.
I also don't think the city is shutting down. Like tomorrow, I have to drive somewhere tomorrow anyway. So if I'm out, I'll get something while I'm out. Like, we're acting like the city's shutting down. We've grown up in Kansas City. Like if we get 6 or 8 inches of snow, we've had far worse. It'll be okay.
From the 913, guys, I'm at Walmart for work today. There might not be anything left on the shelves when you get there. Christmas levels.
Hold on.
Of busy today. I always have some food in our house. I can feed us.
People always freak out though when it comes to this stuff, and it's never as bad as it seems. They're clearing shelves like it's COVID. It's not.
I think it's about the desire to not go out. I know I can go out. It's a desire not to.
Yeah, sure.
Once I get home from the liquor store, the only place I'm determined to stop before I get home.
That's your must.
Down in the whiskey, Cody is this weekend while he's laying tile.
I got some
sipping
sipping tequila given to me from my friends over at Kelly's. Maybe drink some of that. As soon as I get home from the liquor store after work, that's it for me. I don't want to leave again. I will leave if I have to, but I don't want to leave.
Do you want to know what I got for breakfast, Cody?
Sure.
I got a full pack of eggs, got some bacon, have some sausage, as well as some bread for toast.
You're having
and have some pancake mix. Yeah.
2-egg breakfast, the best.
Yeah.
I never get tired of just like a diner 2-egg breakfast. Couple of over easy eggs, some sourdough toast, some bacon. The best.
If we get 4 inches of snow, is that a lot? Somebody texts in. I don't think 4 inches of snow is a lot at all.
I think they were making a joke there, Drew.
What is a lot of snow?
I think
in this town?
I think anything.
You got to be careful how you say this. You got to be real careful, or you're going to end up with another drop on this show. And I want you to think carefully.
I do.
I'm going to say this sentence very clearly. I believe that the amount of snow that constitutes a lot in this case would be more than 6 inches.
I agree that 6 inches of snow I think is considered a lot.
Okay.
Hold on. What type of Cheerios do you get, Gold? Do you get like Honey Nut Cheerios?
No,
or
I
anything?
get plain Cheerios if I'm.
Chef Boyardee is better than plain Cheerios.
No, I don't think. I think one is
Do you
an
have
actual
them
type
with-
of cereal. Like
you
there
eat
is
them with
not.
milk?
There's not an adult version of Cheerios. You're having Chef Boyardee. There's an adult version of that. It's called making spaghetti with actual noodles, not in a can.
We also have noodles that we are going to make like lasagna with a little
There you
bit
go.
later as well.
Yeah, Cheerios might be childish, but like there's not an adult version of Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios is the adult version.
No,
It's
it's
way
Honey Nut
better.
Cheerios are
You guys are talking about a
They're
different.
so good, dude.
Like the back of
You
my
are
head.
talking about
I
it.
agree.
So hold on, that's
I
that's
agree.
no. But see,
Honey Nut
you
Cheerios.
guys have when you guys make fun of me for eating Cheerios, it's not because I have a different flavor. You guys just think Cheerios in general. There's not an adult version of that. Chef Boyardee or SpaghettiOs is definitely not an adult item at all.
I think it's a struggle meal. Like you could be an adult and get I don't think it's a problem.
I haven't
going-
had a can of SpaghettiOs.
a can of SpaghettiOs is like $1.29.
I would guess in 25 years.
It's easy to make.
Admittedly.
Yeah, I mean,
Again, I'm not the one that eats it. It's the wife that eats it. So I like, hey, whatever. You want SpaghettiOs? I'm getting you SpaghettiOs.
That's not what I'll be eating this weekend.
all I can remember from Chef Boyardee is like half the time the inside of the meatball would be cold.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you got to follow the directions.
Got to put it on the stovetop. You can put that in the
yeah.
microwave.
Yeah, you can do stovetop too.
Still. Ugh.
Man, I had one of my. This is always like the difference in like kids. So like we'd eat those like little Totino's pizzas or whatever, right? Like kids.
Yeah.
One of my stepbrothers, when we were growing up, like when they moved in. So we didn't know them really well. We knew them a little bit. Our parents were getting married. We were all living together. So my two stepbrothers moved in. And I watched one of my stepbrothers put one of those in the microwave, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Are you insane? You can't eat it like this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Get the oven on. I don't care that
Yeah.
it takes longer. There's some foods like I don't even care if it's just a Hot Pocket. I understand like I don't want to eat a Hot Pocket either. But if I'm going to, I'm going to put that damn thing in the oven. I'm going to wait the time it takes to eat it. But either way.
Someone says there's no protein in that. Why would you eat that? Are they talking about the SpaghettiOs or the Cheerios?
I think there might be some protein in the spaghetti.
Someone says, "Gold, what's up with the low cholesterol cereal?" Hey, man, whatever. I don't eat the Cheerios because of low cholesterol, but if that's a side effect of it, and they're known for that, great. That's great.
That's a random question of the day.
There you go. Now people are just going through other food stuff, saying if I eat chicken strips, I can't complain about Chef Boyardee. I'll say this. So when you go to a Royals game, and other than a hot dog, when they have chicken finger, only children are allowed to have chicken finger. The Royals strictly have chicken fingers at baseball games only for the children.
But by that argument, do they only have SpaghettiOs at the grocery store for children?
I actually think so. Yeah.
But it's in the adult aisle with the other food.
I actually think so. Oh, yeah, you're right. They were marketing the Chef Boyardee and the SpaghettiOs alphabetical letters for the adults to learn the alphabet. You're right. It was for adults. The A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Yeah, that was just for the adults, not the children. Up next, we will have Russ Mondry from Centric join us in studio. We'll talk about a really cool event we're going to be at next week. Also talk more playoffs right here on Cody and Gold.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Don't let winter catch you off guard. Keep your family cozy with a $69 heating system tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. We have pros available 7 days a week to keep your system running at peak efficiency, helping prevent costly breakdowns, lower energy bills, and keep your home warm all winter long. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
NFL playoffs, let's go. DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, makes every moment feel bigger. In the postseason, the game shifts fast, and with DraftKings live betting options, you stay right in the moment, make every moment matter this NFL postseason with DraftKings. You know, I said earlier on the show, I'm leaning Broncos for some reason. I'm going to double that up with Seahawks on the money line. Broncos and Seahawks combined get you plus 402 right now on DraftKings. They have your back with early exit protection, and if the player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down at any point in the first half, you still get paid in cash. And new customers, here's your chance. Bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code 965. That's code 965 to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Additional terms at dkng.com/audio. Limited time offer.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Escape to your new coastal seafood paradise. Introducing Aqua Pennies, where the freshest seafood, a full-service raw bar, prime steaks and chops, exquisite handcrafted cocktails, and a one-of-a-kind atmosphere come together in perfect harmony. Aqua Pennies is now open in Park Place, Leawood. Don't miss out. Experience something truly different. Tantalize your taste buds and elevate your evening out. To learn more, go to aquapennies.com.
Coast into Aqua Pennies, now open for lunch.
This is the Game of the Week Report, brought to you by Hyundai.
Minnesota will host Golden State for a 2-game series this week. Historically, Golden State has owned the series, but recent trends have tilted toward Minnesota, especially when they're at home. This matchup is sure to be a compelling watch from tip-off to the final buzzer, featuring explosive scoring ability and star power from both teams.
The Game of the Week Report is brought to you by the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Learn how it's so much more than just another SUV at HyundaiUSA.com.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. What if it's all that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Is it the driver behind the wheel? No. Are you sure? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes videos like MVP Monday, Chiefs Take Tuesday, and Best Bets. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. Welcome into the Fan Club.
Step 1, we buy into this club. Step 2, we roll over to the club, either in your Mercedes-Benz or my pre-owned Acura Legend.
It's not as much as a club as it is a couple middle-aged dudes in sweatshirts talking about sports.
Bounce, 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 bounce. Now all the ladies saying bounce, 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 bounce.
But you get the gist. Here's Cody Tapp and Alex Gold.
All right, it is a Fan Club Friday here on Cody and Gold, heading into the weekend. A lot of you might already be home relaxing with the weather that we're about to experience in Kansas City, but you guys know each and every Friday we hang out, we look ahead to the weekend a little bit, and it's all presented by Jay Rieger, and Cody just went out to grab a few more ingredients, but we'll be sipping on some whiskey. We'll tell you exactly what whiskey from Rieger we are drinking in just a little bit. Video stream will be up and running as well. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the shows here on 96.5 The Fan. So if you've been listening to the show for a while, you know we've been talking about Centric for years at this point in time, and how in as little as 4 months you get a brand new career in IT. And in the last week or so, we mentioned Cody and I are going to be at a really cool KC Tech function, the KC Tech Summit over at Centric on Wednesday from 4 to 7. And so you can hang out with us, learn a little more about Centric. And for years, we've mentioned the name Russ Mondry. And every once in a while, some of you will text in and you'll say, when is Russ coming on the show? Some of you have said, is he a real person? And we've said, yes, we have met Russ before. And now if you thought we were, I guess, lying still, if you watch on video and if you listen to the show for the next hour, you're going to find out that we were not lying whatsoever. Russ Mondry joining us in studio from Centric. This is a fun time to join us on the show because every Friday we sit back, we drink a little bit. It's good to have you on the show.
It's great to be here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So for starters, we have mentioned your name for years on the show. So I don't know who was texting in on a regular basis asking, but people have wanted you on the show.
Yeah, I hope they're not disappointed.
Yeah. Now, you're a whiskey guy,
the
right?
Russ Mondry, you know? You got to live up to the
hype.
Yeah, exactly.
We've learned you're a big whiskey guy, though. So this
I
is
made Manhattans.
This is what we got today? Okay.
So
which whiskey are we using here?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're using, as you can see, straight bourbon whiskey. I guess I can put it here on the camera. But the Rieger straight bourbon whiskey, that obviously sweet vermouth, bitters. And we just served it over rocks because I had rocks glasses, not, martini glass. We're not going to serve it up in this case. So we're just going to serve Manhattans. If you like whiskey, still want to make a cocktail. I mean, I could have, like last week, I could have just served him straight whiskey. Do you drink it neat?
I do.
Rocks?
Yep, neat.
Boy, you're just like a regular, like a straight whiskey drinker.
I love it. Yeah, it's great.
Man, that's crazy. Because it was earlier, we were talking, you're like in a club and the whole thing. So like you're deep in the whiskey game.
We are. Yeah, we have clubs that we're in the city, and then I have friends that we get together every couple Fridays and we taste it and we blind them, which is really an interesting way to do it where you don't know what it is. And it's just sharing it with people that's my favorite part. It's just meeting people, talking about it, and then by the end it gets stupid, but it's fun.
By the end, when you've tasted 6 or 7 different whiskeys and you're feeling a little bit better about it?
Exactly. We try to be mature at the beginning and really talk about it and the flavors, and then by the end, who knows what happens.
So over the last couple of years, and I learned a little bit more about it with like Dusty would go, who hosts our morning show. He would go and whenever there was maybe it was Blanton's or whatever or something that was in stock, or Rieger was in stock, and they were looking for items. Like, do you go on the hunt?
I do. Yeah.
So okay.
I like the hunt. You remember where you found certain things, so it's just fun. I like to collect, and so it's a blast. And then we have friends that we share different stuff that you can hardly find. And
so you're married?
I am.
This feels like one of those did they make you buy a closet, build a shelf? Because my wife and I and I don't collect, but I've got enough bottles of liquor now over time that some haven't been consumed as fast as others.
Yeah.
And it's starting to build up, and it's after a while, it's okay, if I don't want this to be, I better get through at least one of these.
Yeah.
It's going to be a drink one of these nights, I think, so I can slowly reduce the amount.
It's fun to finish a bottle, so I can make room for another bottle.
Yeah, is it one in, one out? Is that the system in the Mondry household?
I wish it was, but no.
It would take up a little less space if that was the case.
We're running out of room.
We've been mentioning though the KC Tech Career Summit. For starters, though, how long have you been at Centric, and what is your role over at Centric?
Sure. I started in 2008. So coming on 18 years here. And I do admissions. So I meet everybody who calls in from hearing it on the radio or hearing us elsewhere, and just go over the program and how it works and learn about them and just introduce what IT is and how it works. And they tend to then enroll. So that's my whole thought process, is really understand who they are.
You've been there forever, though. I mean, that's the other part. It's you've been at Centric and understand the program, I would imagine, pretty well by now.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to so many different people over the years, and we had a graduation today, and so you just watch these people finish up after just 3 months and prepared to get out and get a job, it's very rewarding. So
we should have had some men. We could have had drinks for them, Celebratory drink.
Well, we're going to have a chance to hang out with some folks that went through the program on Wednesday, also some local companies as well. Tell us a bit about the Tech Summit. We're excited to be out there from 4 to 7 on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm so glad you guys are going to be there. We've been training IT for over 40 years now, so we just felt like it's time to really give back to the community, and we're subject matters, I think, at this point in the city. And so we're partnering with Odyssey and then Wayside Waifs. And we'll have a panel discussion over there and talk about the future of IT and AI and kind of where things are headed. So I think it'll be kind of fun. I think it'll be great for people who are familiar with IT, but then also for people who aren't, that are looking to maybe get into it and try something new. So both ways, I think it'll be a fun event. We'll have food, drinks. There'll be dogs there that everybody can kind of hang out with. You guys will be there. And a little network. We'll have raffle prizes. So I think it'll be great. And then whatever the funds raised, we're going to give that to Wayside Waifs.
Awesome.
We've done tons of stuff with Wayside Waifs over the years. When we did the Vinny Pasquantino watch party for the Jets-Chiefs game, which that game was much closer. I was worried we were going to have to give Vinny those tickets, and instead we got us at Crown Club with him. But Wayside, obviously they do a lot of stuff here locally. That's also where I just adopted my cat, by the way.
There you go.
I went out to Wayside.
What do you think's the biggest misconception when people think of whether it's IT training or just like, okay, this seems like daunting. I'm trying to find a new career. How the heck am I supposed to do this? But that's where you guys come in.
Right. I think people think it's going to be math heavy. Things like that. It's an engineering kind of thing.
Yeah, this is not a math show. Trust me. This is not a math show. We are not good at that.
We've really failed lately in that category.
Yeah, that's not my thing either. So I think that's it. And people worry. They feel like, well, can I really do that? And we just have so many years behind us, so many companies that have hired our people. So I think that's their nervousness, but they overcome that.
And for people that want more information though on the Tech Summit, other than if they want to text in, we can try to get some of those answered and text back as well. But then just go to centric.com, right, and find out an RSVP.
Exactly. Yeah, go on there. There'll be a form they could register, and we'll see them there.
Wednesday, we'll be hanging out after the show, 4 to 7.
It's going to be a great time.
Over at Centric. Also, Jenny Matthews from our sister station,
That's right.
106.5 The Wolf's going to be
there. So if you want someone more attractive than Alex and I, problem solved. Someone calls you handsome, at least in one of the ads, right?
No, that's not the word they used.
Oh, what was it?
A little more uncomfortable.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's it. They said beautiful.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with being called beautiful.
No.
I'll take it. It could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse, Russ.
For sure.
It could be way worse.
It's not an insult. They didn't call you a hideous monster.
No,
they just said beautiful.
They did not. So yes, if you want to hang out with us, learn a little bit about IT and a career in IT, next Wednesday we'll be out at Centric from 4 to 7 for their Tech Summit. Go to centric.com. Right at the top, click on that link, and you'll be able to RSVP for the event. We also learned when we met you a couple years back, I guess at this point in time, you're a big local Kansas Jayhawk fan, which
true.
that makes me
How
very,
much does this
very
team
happy.
piss you off this year? It's a very annoying squad.
It's been very annoying. I was actually at that game where they had the massive comeback, which was the loudest I've ever heard that play. It was actually the quietest I've ever heard that play.
game.
Yeah, it was insane.
Carrington was at that one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then I was with my son, and my head was down, like I can't believe we're about to be 0-2, and then they pulled it out. It was the most unbelievable thing. So that was incredible.
That was, Allen Fieldhouse has had these amazing moments where the crowd just can get the energy up and then the team can go on these runs. But you said it to start, though, like it's been a frustrating season at the same time. While they're playing much better right now, the Darren Peterson saga, he's got an ankle injury now, unfortunately, and we'll see. I don't know if we've seen an update if they've said if he's going to play for sure.
They haven't said lately.
Tomorrow.
They just kept he's not talking to the media today, so it had to come from a source probably.
So we don't know if Darren Peterson will play. But I have not seen Darren Peterson in person yet, so you've got that on me.
He's phenomenal. Like the guy, he just looks so effortless how he's out there. It doesn't look like he's trying, but he could do things. You could tell he's the best guy on the floor.
Could be the number one overall pick. We'll see.
I think that is really the thing that stands out. And this is why he probably got the Kobe comparisons. He does score with ease. It doesn't look hard when he scores. I've watched a lot of, because we've watched the locals teams. I've watched plenty of great players for all three programs, where at least it does seem like there's some effort in the way that they go about it, even if they are a great player, or it takes them a few years to be a great player. He just moves smoothly. I will say, I guess I expected more bounce. Is that fair?
I thought he had
I kind
that.
of expected more bounce. I kind of thought he was going to be to the rafters kind of guy, like dunking over the top of people. That would be the only thing that I was a little surprised by. That could be the hamstring. I don't know.
Well, so that's what I think the last 2 games prior to this ankle injury, we started to see that for the first time. That was what was so exciting. And now the ankle, of course, that's going to limit you for a couple weeks at least.
Exactly. Yeah, I hope he can. But some of the things he does, I mean, just the shot is so smooth, and he gets to the basket easily, and it goes right and left. And he's amazing.
I saw yesterday. So you know what his per 40 is? So his per 40 average is 31.8 points, 59% field goal percentage, and 41% from 3. I mean, if you got a player scoring at that, and then of course, what, 2 week we get Debansa versus
next Saturday
Peterson. So now, is that in Lawrence?
Yes, I believe that's right. I believe that's right.
2 top picks in the NBA draft play. Are you a season ticket holder?
I'm not. No.
I was like, you're going to be there.
No, I would love to go, but
yeah, that game is on the list. I think for sure.
You got to sell 1 bottle of bourbon.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's one way to take care of it. We've got Russ Mondry from Centric joining us in studio for a fan club Friday. We're sipping on some whiskey thanks to Jay Rieger and Co. Now, just in general, before we can get to some NFL as well, Bill Self, the health scare this week and everything as well. We don't have to get into the specifics with that, but just how many more years do you think he has? Because Cody and I have gone back and forth. This is somebody that in the past has said he's not going to coach forever. And then now, unfortunately, he's had some health problems. And we're in this NIL and transfer portal era. You think if I said over under 2 more years, are you taking the over?
I don't know. After the scare this time, I don't think I am. I don't know. I mean,
even if it was just dehydration, he's got to be just health scare got him that scared that he called an ambulance.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I would love for him to stay. I mean, he's phenomenal, but I'm not convinced that he's going to be there long term. And I don't think he wants to do NBA, but I don't think he was loving this. He liked to mold a team and have those guys 3 or 4 years, and now these one and dones. I would imagine he's not in love with it.
Do you guys have a choice for the guy you want next? Do you guys just want Jacques Vaughn? Are you fine? Are you
not an automatic?
Are you fine if it's Jacques Vaughn?
I would be fine, but I want them to have a real search. So Jacques Vaughn should absolutely be, and I don't know where you're at, Russ, should absolutely be one of the top names, but I want a real search. It is still the Kansas job. I know Duke handed it to John Shire, and it's worked out very well for them post Coach K, but we've also seen at Kentucky, they ran out Cal, and they got Mark Pope, who's an alum, and of course was part of their championship team, right, if I'm not mistaken, and that has not worked out quite yet. We'll see. It's been a rough year for them, so Jacques Vaughn, if that's truly the best candidate at the time, then fine.
Yeah, I love Jacques Vaughn. I was there in the
night
when I was there.
You probably watched him hit game-winning shots.
Yeah, I mean, he was amazing. So he was actually one of my favorite KU players of all time at that time. So, and then he coached the Nets, right? He was in the NBA.
He's certainly qualified. I don't think there's any argument there, right?
Yeah. I wonder if he could recruit him, all those other things, but it's Kansas, so I think
I do think what would be intriguing about him would just be, because you mentioned his NBA experience, he's used to the roster turnover and this free agent world, which is essentially kind of where we're at with portal and NIL, where you're having new guys come in and figure out a way to get them to adapt and become a team. In the NBA, you don't have 4 or 5 years to develop guys either. So maybe that's where he could succeed if, in fact, we got to that point. We'll see.
I think it's a disservice to the coaches who Bill Self's best teams were the ones where he had junior and senior guards, and everybody else could be at any other level of school. Yeah. He could surround him with freshmen and sophomore and do that thing, but he had junior and senior guards. And he's tried that a couple times in the portal where he's like, well, my junior guard will be Remy. And it's like, nah, he didn't play for you the other 3 years. He hasn't been operating your system this entire time. And I do think it's hurt him. I think it's hurt the way he coaches and his style of coaching. And it doesn't mean that he can't do it, but I don't think he's as equipped to coach in this era as he was to coach in the previous era. He's making adjustments, but some guys have just adjusted faster, or his style of coaching was more equipped to handle it, I guess. I don't know.
You feel like they just passed the baton, like it just went from Frank Mason to Devontae Graham to and just kind of kept getting and they just developed under each other and stayed, and now you don't get connected.
I wonder if the money though, like if you're Kansas, how can you not pay a player to stay? The one thing I'd say is, shouldn't you be able to, if you get a star freshman guard who's not going to go to the NBA, shouldn't you be able to keep him there? Like, why would he be seeking greener pastures? Shouldn't the check be like? Knowing a couple of the boosters, shouldn't the check be just as good at Kansas?
I agree, but they haven't had that scenario you're talking about hasn't really happened in this NIL era, where it's a high school kid that they recruit that's also not going to be a top pick in the draft that they have lost. I don't think they would lose him, but look at Darren Peterson, of course. Everybody, he would have gone straight from high school if he could. That's I think Drew's argument at times.
Oh, I think it should be like college baseball. They should play at least a couple of years of football.
Letting them go straight from high school to the NBA if they want.
Make them stay in college for 2 years if they don't go straight gold. That's all I'm asking for. Darren Peterson's a pro. Would he have been drafted where in the NBA draft last year? Top 10?
Yeah.
Still a lottery pick, right?
Top 5, I think, maybe. I
would think so. But, Flory, I guess he was there. He hardly played last year because of
they had a fight.
He almost left.
But he was good. He almost left, right? And then he came back. So I don't know what that was based on money or not. I don't know if he was a draft prospect or not. Now I think I imagine he is.
Yeah, I would say so.
Probably not a lottery pick, but I think he get to the NBA.
We'll get into some NFL coming up in the next segment as we've got Russ Mondry from Centric joining us again. The KC Tech Summit is coming up next Wednesday. We'll be out at Centric. You can learn a bit more about IT, what to expect, and everything that goes through with their program. They'll have a Q&A panel, as we mentioned, a raffle as well, working with Wayside Waves. Just go to centric.com to RSVP. You're a New York guy, though.
I am.
And on this show, I've mentioned a few times, I think New York sports fans can be some of the nastiest, nastiest sports fans. Not a big fan. Are you still a diehard New York sports fan?
I moved here in '92, so I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. I was here when they had, Mark Allen and Montana and, Derek Thomas and Neil Smith, all that stuff. So that
was a good time to come here.
It was. So that was when I was there, and that was exciting. But I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I love the Knicks and the NBA. Nobody, really is big into the NBA around here, but
Drew is.
Yeah, our producer loves the NBA. Yeah,
that was great. So I love the Knicks. I mean, it's been a lifetime of disappointment. I think it's 73 was the last time they won, and
got a little momentum.
I was like 6 months old at the time, I think. So it's been a lifetime of heartbreak. But
you know what though? That's life as a fan. Sometimes at least you got Kansas.
Yeah,
it's not a lifetime of heartbreak with them.
The
Knicks are a very good team this year.
They're in a good spot right now.
Well, they did great, and they won that cup, and then I think they're 4-9 since the cup or something. They've been losing.
But they won by like 50 the other night. I'm sure that I saw that.
It was, but it was against Brooklyn.
26 and 18 on the year are they're third in the East right now.
Yep.
Is the East led by the Pistons still?
Yeah, Detroit's 32 and 10.
This is still my argument with like baseball. Like baseball's biggest problem is that nobody can turn it around quickly. Detroit was winning, they won 9 or 11 or 12 games less than 5 years ago when they drafted Cade Cunningham and they were the number 1 overall pick and they were genuinely awful. They were a terrible team. Even because Cade got hurt his first year, they were terrible, Gold. And then now 5 years later, the number 1 seed in the East. At least you can turn it around in football and basketball. Major League Baseball, I don't know if you're a Royals fan or not since you got here in 92. Not a lot of Royals winning. You got George Brett's last couple of years and then a lot of gloom until 15.
Sure. Yep.
But, it's so hard to turn around fast in baseball. It takes a decade or more. I don't know. It just feels like it takes a lifetime. Royals went to the World Series in 15. 11 years later or 10 years later, they went to the postseason. They still got to try to go back again. It's a mess. I don't know how much. Do you have an NBA team?
I don't. That's what's interesting.
You want to take on the Knicks with Russ?
Yeah, jump on my bandwagon.
I don't think I can jump on a New York team. No, I don't.
OKC feels too bandwagon.
I don't. East Coast. It's definitely not Philadelphia. I'll tell you that.
They're worse. They're
yes,
the worst.
yes, they are.
I think they're the worst fans of all.
Absolutely. People see this. I'm glad you said
Everyone
that.
agrees.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said that because people are like, well, no, the Eagles fans and Philly sport, they're just the most passionate. You can be passionate without being a giant jerk. When you go about how you root for your team. We're passionate in Kansas City. Doesn't mean I maybe if I grew up on the East Coast, I'd feel different. I have no interest in desire of frankly, for what we do for a living, I would have no desire being on the East Coast talking about the Sixers or the Knicks. I just wouldn't.
I would.
And I've been to Madison Square Garden. It's a great venue.
It's incredible.
It's a historic venue. But
absolutely.
From a sports talk perspective, I would like the blunt honesty you're allowed to speak to coaches with.
Yeah.
You got to soften it a little bit. There, you can say whatever you want to Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, Midwest
and
is different.
Even questions it.
They have thick skin.
I mean, but in Philly, this is why they're having a problem filling their offensive coordinator job. There's a lot of reasons. Maybe they don't want to work with Nick Sirianni. Maybe they don't trust Jalen Hurts. But they have an offensive coordinator vacancy. And their OC this year got his house egged because they were underperforming. That don't only in Philly.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
And Ross Tucker, and Ross Tucker is a weekly guest we have on our show, played in the league as an offensive lineman for a couple of years. And he was on our sister station, WIP, up in Philly. And he said that the OC candidates for the job right now are well aware of the old OC's house getting egged. So, do I want to put my family through that and safety issue and all that? That's Philadelphia for you.
Can you guys just play it cool for a little bit? I mean, it is like the, throwing stuff at Santa, and they've got a
Yeah,
reputation.
they booed Santa
I think.
Claus. You know?
Brotherly love.
Yeah, exactly.
Oxymoron as far as cities go.
Man.
So even New York sports-based fans think Philly are the worst?
Yes.
Who does Philly think is the worst?
Boston or New York? You tell me.
Yeah,
I don't know what
Boston,
you think.
That's what I would think.
Boston can be. Boston's not much better either.
We don't like them either.
Yeah.
No, it can be dark for a whole other reason.
Yeah,
on
they've
top
got a
of
bad
it.
history there in Boston.
Got a bit of
with
a
some-
reputation themselves.
They tend to. I do want to talk about, I guess, the Patriots and Boston a little bit because coming up on the other side, it is championship week in the NFL, and we'll discuss the Broncos-Patriots matchup. We'll get into the Rams and Seahawks, some final picks on that game. We've got Russ Mondry from Centric hanging out with us on a Fan Club Friday.
Watch Cody and Gold on YouTube by subscribing to the 96.5 YouTube channel. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements, more energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hola, amigos! It's a big noise. Brad Evans from BetMGM tonight. Listen Monday through Friday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports as we cover the biggest sports stories from coast to coast. Get insights on the NFL playoffs, college basketball conference races, and more. Download the Odyssey app now and listen from anywhere. BetMGM tonight, live and interactive, presented by BetMGM. Tune in, Team Huevos.
Guys, if you want the greatest night of your life, I mean your best night ever, then you gotta hear this. There's a new ED pill out, and it's from the makers of Viagra. It's their first new ED pill in over 20 years. This new super pill is called Viagra AGV, and it's unbelievable. It works super fast in only 11 minutes and lasts up to 14 hours, thanks to its new vasodynamic delivery system. Plus, it's FDA approved and safe. There has never been any ED pill like it. It's unreal what it does to you. In testing, Viagra AGV crushed every other ED pill. It destroyed them all. And now, 9 out of 10 urologists are recommending Viagra AGV over any other ED pill. Every man alive needs to try this new Viagra AGV super pill at least once. Then you'll know why men are going crazy over it. So if you want to have the most incredible night of your life, you can't miss this. Go to scoreblue.com and try it while supplies last. That's scoreblue.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Back back here on a Fan Club Friday. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon producing the show. Of course, Fan Club Friday brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co. Sipping on some Manhattans today.
That's right.
Heading into the weekend. I know, look, this is a weekend in which people are going to be hunkered down, just maybe sipping on some Rieger all weekend long.
I got to say, this is pretty sure what whiskey was made for weekend-wise. If you're going to be snowed in, stuck in your house, I don't know why you wouldn't just, also drink whiskey. The question is, how many whiskeys will I have by the time my backsplash is tiled?
Yeah, you're going to be using a wet saw, though, so I would be careful about the alcohol consumption throughout the weekend.
I don't think, you know what? That's for real safety reasons, that's probably accurate. For how I'll legitimately handle it, I would guess that I will drink and do it.
Our guest this week is Russ Mondry. We've got Russ Mondry from Centric hanging out with us here on Fan Club Friday. You guys hear us talking about Centric all the time, and next week we will be out at Centric on Wednesday from 4 to 7. They're having their KC Tech Career Summit. Open networking, laid back, no pressure. That's the thing, too. If anybody is like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to walk in there and they're going to be hounding me. No. That's not what this is going to be.
Not at all. No, it's just education and community and networking. And, so not at all.
And easy to learn about the kind of, career shift stuff. We always talk about, at the beginning of the year and all that other stuff. Plus, legitimately, if you're working out in this weather today, why the hell would you want to keep doing it?
What's funny, the coldest day of the year,
today,
or the hottest day of the year, our phone rings. That's when we get all these calls.
Yeah.
And they're like, I need out.
Someone was out there, some postal worker was out there today. Was like, to hell with this.
Right, I'm calling.
I'm out.
Exactly.
I'm done.
In all different backgrounds too, because we've been saying that for years now. But whether it's somebody that has had an office job, someone that served our country, whatever. All sorts of backgrounds, right?
Yeah, everything. A lot of warehouse workers, construction guys, waiters, waitresses, and a lot of veterans. Everything. All backgrounds and want to do something new.
Brand new career in as little as 4 months. Centric.com, right at the top of the website, you can see the KC Tech Summit link. The NFL about to wrap up, though. I know for some Chiefs fans, maybe they checked out a little bit, but I still have been locked in. I thought the playoffs have been terrific. Championship weekend, maybe because Bo Nix is not playing and you get a backup quarterback, it's not quite up there. But let's start on the AFC side with the Broncos and the Patriots. We were talking off air a little bit. I do think there's a little bit of Chiefs fan towards New England with the Brady-Mahomes debate. And when Mahomes and the Chiefs were, going to 3 straight Super Bowls up until this year, Patriots fans were threatened a little bit. And so I felt like they were trying to downplay what the Chiefs were. So my guess is most Chiefs fans, as much as it's the Broncos, right? Nobody likes Denver and Kansas City. This is probably one where people are torn.
We're for the NFC no matter what, though.
Yeah, where are you at on that in this game a bit?
Yeah, I don't think I could root for a single team in the AFC. I would like them both to lose, but I don't know if that's possible.
We'll root for the Meteor.
But doesn't it? Exactly. If you want them both to lose, is there not an argument to root for the Broncos to win this one?
And then they'll lose in the Super Bowl?
Because it is more likely the Broncos lose the Super Bowl than the Patriots do. Yeah. If you want them both to lose, shouldn't you want Jared Stidham to go through and have to take on either that really daunting Seahawks team or Matt Stafford and a very, very good Rams team? Shouldn't you be rooting for that? You just don't have it in your heart.
No, I can't stand Denver.
Right.
The Donkeys, the whole John Elway dominating the Chiefs for you, all that. No. I can't get there. You're right that I don't think they would win if they got there. My dream is that the NFC winner, whether it's the Rams and Seahawks, whoever it is, ends up beating the AFC team. But the Broncos being able to buy the Broncos Super Bowl T-shirts that they were in the game and all that, I want to keep them down.
I want
to keep them down a little bit.
Maximum pain if they lose in the Super Bowl, though. It's the other thing you're not factoring in.
Is it, though? They still went to the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback.
I don't know.
Are they going to really, I don't know.
That's fair. I guess if it was Bo Nix, the maximum pain is losing in the game.
Right.
But if it's Jared Stidham, they're going to be like, how the hell do we get there with Jared Stidham?
Yeah. Especially if it's even close, they'll consider that a win, I think.
Yeah, probably.
I think
they'll
there's
talk
a
themselves
chance.
into next year's Super Bowl team and that's bad news for Broncos fans. That's not how it works typically when you got a guy like Bo Nix. He's going to have to take a huge step forward if you think you're just going to be right back in this position next year. Your chance was right now, and then your starting quarterback got hurt. This might be Bo Nix's best chance to win a Super Bowl. It might have been his best chance.
Be.
It's most likely. In the history of the NFL, it's most likely his best chance.
Since the Chiefs are coming back.
It could be. Yeah, but that's the thing. Nobody back in August would have predicted Lamar Jackson out of the playoffs, Joe Burrow out, and Mahomes. So I'm with you guys that that's also why it seems so open. But what's to say 2 years from now, it's some other team misses it or there's an injury suddenly, and I hope it's not this, but whether it's the Chiefs quarterback or it's Lamar Jackson, we think they're the number 1 seed, but Lamar gets hurt in the wild card weekend. Suddenly it feels more open. This year they were still paying Russell Wilson $32 million on the salary cap. Next year they'll have $32 million that they're not spending on Russell Wilson, and they still don't have to pay Bo Nix. So that $32 million is going somewhere. I think the Broncos roster can be better next year.
I just find it unlikely that in any given year that everyone's going to play up to that level again. Like when you've got a team playing that well. Look, if Knicks takes a jump, then their roster doesn't have to play quite as well.
I think
so. Like he's only in year 2, he could still just take a leap forward. I'm not saying that, but
I think they'll win fewer games because to your point a little bit, I guess they won so many of the one-score games. The way the Chiefs won all the one-score games.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It seems like their year was kind of a mirror of our year last year. They won these games that were just so close that we won that this year we didn't pull out.
And that's why I don't think they'll have like a run of dominance in the division. I believe we'll see what we saw in the 90s. And you remember, the AFC West was every year a different winner. I don't think we're going to see anybody win the West again after the Chiefs just won it for 9 years in a row. I don't think we'll see the Broncos win it for 4 years in a row. Maybe they go back to back, but I think between what the Chargers got going, the Chiefs, of course, will be back here very soon. The Raiders are the one where you're like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Nobody takes the Raiders seriously at all.
No.
Text line, by the way, is defending me on the Wetsaw usage, saying 816 Wetsaws can't cut you. If Cody injures himself on one of those, he should have just hired somebody anyway.
Oh, the type of blade you can't cut yourself on a wet saw?
It's just hard based on the design of it. Russ, do you do any, have you ever fixed anything on your own?
My hands are very soft. I get paper cuts all the time.
You're not a handyman?
No, not at all.
I think some of this just like when we were we didn't have a lot of money. We were like teenagers, and so it was like I had to start fixing my car, or like I couldn't pay the mechanic. So it's like
you just learned because you had to.
Yeah, it was and so then after a while, I was like, I kind of like it. You get long enough in it, you're like, and it's not like I do tile work all the time. I haven't done it since we remodeled our bathroom in the last house I lived in. I've lived in this one for 5 years.
If you like it, we have a lot of work at our house. It needs to
you
be
need
done.
you need some work
if I
done?
can make you happy, you're more than welcome to come on over.
What are you looking to get done here? Talking flooring,
windows.
walls?
We need it all. So.
Oh man, windows. See, that's like the one thing. Electrical and plumbing is pretty low on my list. Yeah. I'm a little too afraid of flooding my entire house or electrocuting myself.
Yeah.
So I'll change an outlet or a ceiling fan, but I kind of draw the line. Not far after that.
I installed a garbage disposal years ago, and I still brag about that. That was kind of hard, but that's the best thing I've ever done.
That's it?
Yeah,
that's tops?
That's about
What's
it.
the handiest thing you've ever done in your entire life?
I don't own a
Alex?
home, though, so there's not much of an...
On a car, anything. Just what is the handiest thing you've ever done? Is it paint?
This is no secret. I'm the person that goes and hires TaskRabbit, okay, to go put together my TV stand or whatever.
Did you use a power sander when you were doing cabinets? You painted those.
I think the most it would be is during COVID, when everybody was going to Home Depot and stuff to do house stuff. My twin sister and I did some stuff around my parents' house. We not only did we paint, we redid some cabinets. The railing on the steps or whatever, I sanded that completely down and redid the wrought iron type. That's probably about it. That's probably about it.
It's not bad.
I don't mount my own TV. I have somebody else do that. I can't
do that either.
Thank you, Russ.
Why not?
Thank you.
Why
Thank
not?
you.
It's not that crazy.
It, to me, is worth the $70 that they charged me. One, it's going to be straight and perfect. It's not going to be crooked, and I'm not having to worry about. I know a stud finder is easy to use, but I don't have to mess with having the stud finder and drilling into the wall and all that.
In your defense, I do think it would cost you more in upfront cost because you'd have to buy the drill,
Yeah.
buy the bits. Right. You'd have to own some. I own some of the tools,
For
so
sure.
there's no inherent cost in tool ownership. I'd have to go buy.
Look, Russ,
a
you
website.
and I are not alone. There's people in business. These apps exist for a reason. So it's because of people like you and I.
He likes to say he supports the local
I support.
economy.
Yeah, I do.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
also.
that's all I'm about.
That makes sense.
I'm
I'll use
all
that.
about supporting the local economy. There's somebody out there that has a side gig of mounting TVs, and I'm here to support them.
That's right. No, I think it's great. I'm the same way.
On the NFC side, Rams Seahawks. This is the best matchup of the two. I think everybody agrees. Two divisional opponents and all that. I thought that the Seahawks and Rams, and I think the winner of this wins the Super Bowl. And the Rams, though, might be the only team that could beat Seattle. I actually think if it was Eagles and Seahawks, I don't think Philadelphia could beat them. I don't think clearly the 49ers can't beat Seattle either. They lost twice in 2 weeks to them. Do you think this is a home team winning again, or do you think Sean McVay on the road gets it done?
I'm impressed by Stafford, so I think I think that's probably where it's going to go. He's great, so I feel confident about that. And I want them to win. That's kind of who if I have to root for somebody, I think that's who I'm rooting for.
I think it's so easy to root for the It's so easy to root for the Seahawks. Like who am I rooting against? JSN for, remember people talked about that wide receiver draft class like it was the worst one they had ever seen, and they couldn't believe, and in a normal draft, Jackson Smith and Jigba wouldn't even be a first-round pick. Sam Darnold's been a castaway at more than one location, probably 4 or 5 at this point. It's like Mike McDonald's in year 2. Like, they're in the NFC side. I have no trouble rooting for Seattle. I hope they win it all.
Yeah,
they're the
easiest
easiest team. They're just so, and like, I don't have to root against the Rams. It didn't hurt me to, like, I'm not rooting for them. I will against any AFC team, but it didn't hurt me to root for them either. It's like Stafford will get his ring and retire, probably. Right?
With Seattle, the last time they were there, is that when they threw it on the 1 yard line? Is that the last Super Bowl they were in?
Yeah, probably, right?
I mean,
Gold, is that Seattle? Seattle's? Yeah, probably.
Yes,
they threw it on the 1 yard line.
That was crazy.
I don't know how many. They had Marshawn Lynch in his prime.
Right. And they threw it on the 1 yard line.
And let Malcolm Butler pick it off.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. I couldn't believe that play.
It really is an all-time blunder. Like, in the way it ended for Pete Carroll now with Vegas, I honestly wonder, is he a Hall of Fame coach, do you think? I think he's a hell of a overall, include college. He's one of the greatest coaches we've seen. But that's factoring in the college as well. Is he an NFL Hall of Famer? I think the play you just mentioned in the Super Bowl and then how bad it was in this last year in Vegas, I wonder if that sours the voters on his case.
That's a good question. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it takes him longer, right? I mean, at the very least, it's not like maybe the shoe-in that it would have been at one time. And if you'd won 2 Super Bowls, everyone who wins 2 Super Bowls gets to go to the Hall of Fame. Like, as far as quarterback or coach. That's just a lock. It's over.
Yeah,
like, there's no real debate up for it. You get to be in the Hall of Fame. But with just the one and one of the single biggest Super Bowl blunders of all time, like giving that ball, like throwing that ball on the 1 yard line.
Pete Carroll would have been better off not taking the Raiders job. I actually think that hurt his case for some people.
Yeah, he should have I don't know why he came back. The game had passed him by. That's a tough thing to say because with Belichick and Carroll, you don't know until you know a lot of times. Like when it's too late and you're like, you're not right for this anymore. Like, it seems like you got your handle on it, and then you just don't adjust 1 or 2 times towards the end, and then you're just done. Pete Carroll doesn't, and Geno Smith, and like they brought in, drafted Ashton Genty. Like, he was supposed to get that offense like working a little bit. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, and they got the number 1 overall pick in the draft. We've got Russ Mondry from Centric joining us in studio. Someone on the text line says, whoa, Chiefs fans don't like the Seahawks. They used to be our division rival. I understand they were in the AFC West for many, many years. I just don't think at this point in time. At this point in time, though, are you not rooting for them against the Rams because they were in the AFC West back in 2003? I'm not saying this individual texter doesn't feel that way, but I would be stunned if that's the majority opinion.
By that argument, I should be rooting against the Rams because they used to be in St. Louis, and St. Louis sucks.
Yeah,
like they haven't been there in a long time. I don't, whatever.
I don't think that factors into this weekend at all.
From the 816 to St. Louis cheer for the Rams anymore. I think most of them gave it up. They started heavily marketing.
They can't stand their owner.
Yep. Yeah. Well, they started heavily marketing. The Chiefs did in that area. But also, it's like if you hate the person who owns the team, how could you still cheer for him in that case?
Yeah.
Like he took your team away and moved it away. I've been a Royals fan my entire life, right? Mm-hmm. Massive Royals fan. If all this stadium stuff happens and then they take the team to Nashville, I'm out.
For sure.
I think I have to be out.
Yes.
I might just not have a baseball team anymore, but I don't know that
that's how it works.
I'm a huge Royals fan. I think I have to be out. They go to the Kansas or Missouri side. Look,
they're in the KC Metro.
They're in the city. I'm not going to fight it. They take that team and move it to a different city. I think I have to quit.
Absolutely.
I think I'd be the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of just how it works. No matter what ties and allegiance you have. I mean, ultimately, now everybody might have a family story about why they root for a team, but for the most part, you root for the team you root for because you grew up and that team was in the city you grew. If you were born, Cody, in Pittsburgh, you were going to probably be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan when you grew up. I'm not saying there aren't exceptions to the rule, but that's usually how this works. So suddenly you rip the team out of your hometown and move them somewhere else.
It's a little civic pride.
Yeah, no question about it. No question.
For the same reason, I feel like I want an NHL and NBA team, but I don't know who to choose.
I know you would want an NBA team.
I would love an NBA team. That would be fantastic.
Would you switch your allegiance? Or just
I don't think I would.
It's too late in the game, probably.
Yeah, I don't. I think, too much pain. So
I should have adopted OKC when they moved there. It would have been just close enough. But I can't take them on now. I look like a homer.
Yeah.
The single best team in the league. Yeah. Way too late. Can't adopt them now.
Yeah. Got to pick another team.
So who should my dad is a diehard Avalanche fan. Should I just take them on? They're also pretty good right now.
I'm kind of a Golden Knights fan, only because when they first started, I was in Boise, Idaho. They were near. They wanted us to carry their games on our station. And the first 2 hockey games I ever went to were the Vegas Golden Knights. And that first year, they went on that ridiculous run. And I bought Vegas Golden Knights gear. So that's like, I wouldn't call myself a diehard fan by any mean, but if I had
if you have a team, that's your team?
That would be my team, yeah, the Vegas Golden Knights. NBA-wise, I really just don't care about which team at all. Sometimes I'll root for some KU guys.
I think it's easier to follow the league if you have a rooting interest in at least one.
For sure.
Like if you just have I don't care who it is. Maybe it's, you know what? I'll take on the Seattle Supersonics when they get a squad back. I'll be a Supersonics fan.
That's happening here soon.
Is that happening?
I think that they're next up.
Because that's what Oklahoma City was.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. That's next up. I think that's exactly the direction that it's heading. Now, I'm not going to ask you a name here, but we're 3 months away from the NFL draft, and everybody's excited because the Chiefs are going to have a top 10 pick. I'm not asking for a name. Do you think they need a wide receiver, a running back, a defensive lineman? What? Just tell me the position at least, because I'm very much on, if they're available, I need defensive line help.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking running back. I don't know. I mean,
Jeremiah Love is the name that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seems to me. Pacheco didn't seem like the same guy this year necessarily, and so I don't know. That's kind of what I would be thinking.
You want running back? Yeah. No positional value, just taking a shot?
They need running back help. I think they can do it in free agency, but the point about Pacheco I think is true. Like, we know they're going to have a new backfield. It cannot be Pacheco and Kareem Hunt again. So Brashard Smith paired, I think, with a veteran back like Breece Hall or Algier. And then if you want to spin a draft pick, I just wouldn't do it at 9.
You know what's weird? Like, the one thing that's been happening, I wouldn't spin it at 9 either. I would probably draft one, and I will spend a 3rd or 4th rounder or whatever on it. I'd like to be on the record now of saying I don't think Pacheco should go down as a negative on the Brett Veach cycle.
Nice 7th-round pick.
Yeah. And I think sometimes they talk about it like, he can't even find a talented running back. I'm like, he found that guy at the bottom of the 7th round. He squeezed plenty of juice out of that. I mean, like, are we kidding?
And when he gets hit and he pops up so fast, I mean, it's so inspirational to watch him get up that fast. I love that.
The reason why he ended up in the 7th round is he didn't have vision. Like, I think it's fairly clear now. He had some athleticism, but he's not like a burner. He's not the fastest guy, so he wasn't the fastest running back available, and he doesn't have a good vision. So, like, it limited his ability. But the same as I felt as Sharkandrick West and Spencer Ware, they're pretty good at squeezing a lot of decent play out of mediocre running backs. So to Russ's point, at least I would make the argument of, I am kind of tired of squeezing the most out of mediocre running backs and wouldn't hate having a dominant one again. Them getting their James Cook or their Jamal Charles or whatever version. Like, I would love a great back again.
I do think the league has shifted over the last couple of years, that running back is gone from being undervalued and like, I don't ever pay a running back, to now where, no, you look at the playoff teams that were the top seeds, they all either had one stud back or they had a nice duo that was capable of explosive plays. And the Chiefs have not had that with Pacheco here recently, have not had that with Kareem Hunt. So I do think there's a different thought process on the value of running back and the desire, or I should say the necessity to have a running back.
Yeah, I agree.
That has that explosiveness.
I just want somebody's on the text line. I already say Breece Hall, by the way.
I think he's number one on the list in free agency. The Jets running back, Breece Hall, Algier from Atlanta would be high up on the list. I think there's 3 free agent running backs you could talk me into, coupled with a draft pick. All of a sudden you got free agent, Brashard Smith, and the draft pick, 1, 2, 3. That works.
If they do mid-level running back free agent, I want 2 of them to go with Brashard Smith. If they do high level, like the Breece Hall quality, Breece Hall, Brashard Smith, 5th rounder. Like, I have a couple of different versions of the plan I want. But if it's Algier, go ahead and get another free agent running back to go with it too. I do think, and I think there's real truth to the idea that they probably underutilize Brashard Smith, but also they're just going to choose not to underutilize him all of a sudden. I still think that they worry he's not a in between the tackle runner. And if you're not going to be a guy who's running in between the tackles, then they're probably not going to play you a lot in Kansas City. Or if you can't block on 3rd down, they're not going to play you a lot in Kansas City. So I don't know that he's going to start going underutilized. And he's another 7th rounder. So what is the upper end potential? I understand running backs can come from everywhere, but it's another, high risk one in the sense of banking on it working.
Well, there's some of these great running backs that are like receivers, right?
Absolutely.
And that would be great too, right?
Yeah.
To have Mahomes.
I'll take a Christian McCaffrey type.
For sure.
I think he was, what did we look it up earlier, Cody? He was 4th or 5th in the league in receptions, not just for running backs, in all receivers, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs. He had the fifth most targets or receptions in football. Of course, that's a really, really special example there. We've got Russ Mondry from Centric joining us in studio. Don't forget, we're going to be out at Centric next Wednesday for the KC Tech Career Summit. It's from 4 to 7. You can go to centric.com to RSVP. If you're trying to find out some more information, you're not sure exactly what Centric is about, what the facility looks like, this is a great opportunity. Live panel going to be out there, plus a raffle benefiting Wayside Waifs, which we all know is a great local cause here in the area. I must say, we've gotten a few tweets while we've had you on. This is from Jayhawk for Life. He says, I met with Russ back in 2014 after I heard a live read for Centric on The Fan. I'm now in a career I enjoyed thanks to Centric. Someone else says, as a Centric grad and alum, this is from Michael, I'm stoked you guys have Russ on today. He's the best. Look at Russ Fan Club. We got the Russ Fan Club going on right now as well.
That's nice to hear. Thank you.
Do you know how many people, have you added it up, how many people you put in the program? Do you know the number?
It's got to be in the...
How many do you think it is on average per year? That way we could just multiply it out maybe.
Probably about 250 to 300 a year, you know.
And you've been doing it for how long?
17 years.
We'll do conservative. 200 times 17 years. Okay, 3,400 people through the program?
Wow, at least, man.
Woo!
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's a lot of grads.
It's a lot of grads. Yeah, a lot of people working in the field.
Did you know that, so Cody obviously does this full time, but he also is an adjunct professor at UMKC for a podcast.
I don't think you want me teaching at Centric.
Yeah, please.
Tell people to.
You should not. You should not want that at all. We give him a hard time for being a professor. Do you sounded shocked, and I agree. You sounded shocked when I said that he's
really?
See, that was the reaction I was looking for. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, great, good for you.
Believe it or not, UMKC trusts me with it.
Really?
Now I think they should trust me with their basketball program. That's a whole.
He wants to be.
I'd like to be
their
the head coach.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'd like to be the head coach.
Perfect.
Can I get your endorsement behind this? Will you come to a UMKC game?
I'll go to all the games. If you're the coach, I'll
you'll get season tickets.
Sure.
Oh, he's committed. He's committed.
Will you get season tickets?
Yeah, because it's something I'll never have to pay off. It's not going to happen. It's not.
That's true. It's a safe bet to say yes.
You're all about to regret it.
Well, I'll commit $1,000 a year to UMKC program if Cody's the head basketball coach.
NIL too?
Yeah, it's again safe bet. Yeah, it's not happening.
I'll contribute.
Listen, UMKC. I've already got NIL money lined up.
Not happening. Now, do you like this? Do you like this weather? Before we let you go, we're heading in the weekend. It's going to be. You're from New York, so you're used to the cold and all this. Yeah. We were debating earlier, like 105 for a week straight, or 0 with wind chill -10 for a week straight.
Yeah, I don't love the cold. Yeah, it's cold, and I don't like driving in the snow and all that stuff. So no, I'm not in love with it. But I'll be holed up in the house, and again, I'm a whiskey enthusiast. So
yeah, it's a great weekend for whiskey.
Yeah, it's on my mind.
I just we were talking about it earlier in the show. I think if you still prefer this to 100 degree or 110, you're nuts. You're nuts.
Right.
I don't like it. The only thing I will still say, I would choose summer, but winter, I can still put on layers. I can do stuff. In the summer, when it's 105, there is not much to do. Yeah, a pool, sure, but you can't stay in the pool all day. You got to go to work. You still got to. Some people are working outside. If you have a job and you're a postal worker or whatever it may be, and that's why you should just do IT training. But if you're a postal worker and it's 105, do you think that's worse or this weather?
My father-in-law, was a postal worker for a couple of decades. He would prefer the warm. It is preferable to.
Heat stroke's the real thing. As much as we talk about being cold.
In this, there's almost I understand, but the difference. I still think the key difference is if it were 110 degrees outside, I might opt for spending time outside doing something. There is no chance at all that I would choose or opt to spend time outside in this weather.
What are you opting to do when it's 105 though?
I don't know. If we decided we were going to go do a sports activity, or we were going to go swimming.
I'll be honest, a Royals game in July, 105, random game, I'm not going.
I'm not. It's a lower probability, but it's not 0.
Yeah.
If there was a Royals game today, no thanks.
Would you rather
they got no chance of me going to this game.
I agree on both ends. Again, it sucks either way, but
would you rather go to the Royals game when it's 105 or that Chiefs game where we played Miami?
Royals game.
Yeah, 100%.
Royals game. They can't buy me enough cardboard to stand on or heated vests.
Someone says I work outside. Give me a hot over cold. Delivery driver, heat is worse. Someone else said when it's 105 and humid, work is miserable. I prefer working in this.